Anime Collector, and as always, we've got my co-hosts here, Don Jobo Agi.
Hey everyone, I am so tired of that. You know what? I got a knife this time, so...
And FDDNM.
Hello. Welcome to our lovely podcast, The Late Night Boys, with our pants off.
Yes. Sorry.
I reveal what I do behind under this table.
What? Oh God.
Okay.
Okay, so the StreamYard logo. I got an email from the guy who runs the site saying that he's offering me or just forcing on me a week trial of the basic version of it. So that's great. We don't have the thing in the corner, but here's the thing. They're giving me the opportunity to get a lifetime discount on, let me screen share real quick. They're giving me the opportunity to have a lifetime discount if I upgrade the plan during the week trial. So rather than spending $20 a month, we could get $16.67, which is going to save us something like $64 a year. And here's the thing. So remember I told you guys about the broadcast limits?
Yes.
I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me see. Okay, yeah. Currently, broadcasts are not limited. Limits may be introduced at a future date. So I'm not sure. I mean, we'd be taking a gamble to not take advantage of this. Because on the one hand, we're going to have to pay the $16.67, right?
I think we can survive with the duck, and then if they decide to limit the streams, we just find a different alternative that's free.
The thing is that this alternative seems to be the absolute best alternative to Hangouts. And I'm just saying that if we get, like if we buy in now, we can have a lifetime discount. So we would actually
That's how they get you. It's marketing, Brad.
Yeah, I get that. But I'm just saying I would hate to not get it, because the fact that they're doing this tells me that they're probably going to impose broadcast limits in the near future. So
I feel like we should just cross that bridge when it comes.
Okay.
Well, what we're receiving from the Patreon would technically cover this by a slim margin.
Yeah, but I think
more
that's
behind the curtain
before
stuff.
fees. That's before fees, though.
Right.
Regarding the Patreon. So I'm not sure if once the fees come in, I don't know what they are, but I don't think we'd actually cover it. I mean, it would be very close. So I wanted to weigh, public sentiment. Do you guys like doing the stream through StreamYard, audience? Yeah, so I'll just answer Animax India real quick. Anime collectors collect anime on DVD and Blu-ray. Thank you for your comment. So anyway, I just want to know, do you guys like the podcast that we do through StreamYard? Do you think that this is a good alternative to what we were doing through Hangouts? There's always the chance that, we could get something, a free alternative through Google might come back at some point. I don't know. We could obviously just switch back to that. It wouldn't be a big deal, I'm sure doing a lifetime discount doesn't mean I have to continue forever. I mean, I might lose the discount if I were to cancel the plan, but if I've got that other free alternative, like if Hangouts comes back or whatever, then who cares, right? So I just wanted to know if you guys have any thoughts on whether, like, what would you do if you were in our shoes? Let me ask you that. Anyway, so let me switch to this real quick, and because Augie sent me a message, and I want to make sure that it's closed before I go back to that. All right, so I'll remind you guys that you can support this podcast through the Open Chest Anime Podcast Patreon. Oh, it's going to be one of those nights where nothing loads. Okay, great. All right. So, yeah, we are actually at $20 per month. But again, I'm not quite sure about the, what do you call it? The fees. But I think that if we take advantage of the lifetime discount price, that this should cover it. Right. So that seems like that's why I'm leaning towards like we should jump on this. But again, I want to make sure that you guys actually like doing this through StreamYard and everything. And then if you want to help with the regular content on the channel, you've got the Anime Collector Patreon.
Hey, $5.
Ooh. Even though everything that comes out here so far also goes on to the channel. But like I said, there are going to be exclusive tips that will be on here when we get to $100 per video. And again, the funding on this is per video rather than per month, because the chances of me actually having a video every month that isn't a broadcast on the podcast, which again I don't charge for on this Patreon. I don't want you guys to be paying for months where I don't put out any content. Anyway, and then Stealth Weeb, I have added an amazing mug from Promare. Obviously, it was a reference in the movie to IHOP, so I used the IHOP logo to make it. So it's very authentic.
So, how in the world do you get different prices for a mug?
Because one of them is 11 ounce and one of them is 15 ounce.
Okay.
And I have it set to the 11 ounce mug for the default, because that looks closest to what the character's drinking. That goes for everything on the site. I put the default to whatever the character was wearing, but oftentimes there are other options. I mean, and to my shock, people actually buy the other options way more than I expected. So anyway, that's available. Oh, and I think I showed this off already. King and Ashura shirt here for the Ultra Japan Pro Wrestling, where the logo actually looks really tiny because it's so freaking wide that the maximum size it could get it is just kind of like hard to get in there all the way. I might do something about that in the future, but I don't know what I can do. Anyway, all right. So jumping into topics. Reese is already making the next doc. Thank you for that. Okay, so we'll do pickups in a moment. I want to go over some Vic news. So, T. Greg Doucette said, I do sometimes wonder if at Sharon F. Grigsby had any idea just how rabid these kids would be when she wrote that article. Sharon Grigsby, again, is the one who wrote that Dallas, whatever it was called, article, right? She said, absolutely. Actually, I expected it too much worse. Great. Just like any article writer, you can't proofread your tweet. And yes, I will be in the courtroom for the September 6th hearing. So I'm sharing this to let you know September 6th is the next hearing. And it'll be interesting to see if her opinion on the case actually changes when she's not getting all of her information from T. Greg Doucette, who is a piece of shit who doesn't care about truth at all. As you may have seen on my Twitter here, where he had said in a mocking voice, Vic is not a pedophile, blah, blah, blah. Like here at OniCon 2008, during halftime of the cosplay contest, a kiss from Vic was auctioned off. Some guys bid up the price to $20, and when no one would claim it, this poor 16-year-old girl accepted being a sacrifice, expected a peck, but got a face lick. So first of all, this picture does not show him licking her face. If you actually look at it, I fucking hate Twitter. Open image, a new tab. If you actually look at it, it's pretty abundantly clear that his tongue is not touching her. His mouth is open because he's talking to her and then kissing her on the cheek. Yeah, very obviously. Not only that, but as I said, it's really too bad that there is a video of this event that completely discredits him. And you'll notice that, you know, his tweet is still up, still pushing that narrative. And if you want to watch the video, you're welcome to it. It's not a cosplay contest. It's a charity auction and everything. But Anyway, Augie brought this to my attention right before the podcast started. Apparently, Lindsay Loveridge, who has not blocked me, apparently, had a bit of a meltdown today, and it seems to be over the discussions of whether or not she is liable to be sued next. So she said, I'm looking back at the last 9 months of my work, and I'm sorry, Threadnought /Law Twitter, Threadnought being Doucette's ridiculous rantings. That tweet I just showed you of his was in his thing he calls the Threadnought, where he just talks about this by replying to himself over and over and over again, which is a terrible way to present information, but it's a brilliant way to keep people constantly getting your notifications, because anytime anybody comments on that, when you reply to that whole thread, it's like adding everybody in it or whatever. Anyway, so she said, we need to have a talk. While I appreciate the community coming in and giving attention to Vignana versus Funimation et al. In a clear, concise language, I need to say a few words. So she's replying to this guy here, or she's drawing this next tweet about this. People were discussing the thing about Anime News Network basically potentially being the next target. And people are like, no, that can't happen. They're in Canada. Look, see, it says here that they're based in Quebec and blah, blah, blah. Well, this guy who says he's a lawyer mostly writes articles. If I can make a pun out of the title, is it fair use? We live in a post. I don't even know what that is. Anyway, so he said, yes, what's weird about that is that the author, Lindsay Loveridge, is in Washington State, and as Depp Case's recent decision does indicate, the place of hosting is important. A&N's choice of laws for its privacy policy isn't the same thing. So basically, they're talking about whether or not Lindsay Loveridge could be on the chopping block of Vic suing. So she says, don't do this shit. While I know the answers to these questions, I'm not sure what benefit it is to sit around and hypothesize on whether I'm open to litigation or not. It's fucking shitty. Which sounds pretty desperate, if you ask me, the way she's saying this. And then she goes on to say, I don't hide what state I live in, but just like over on that site we all know and love, you don't have to put it on blast either for anyone. At the risk of being seen as hysterical, you've risked that all for naught because you've come across that way. I'm probably on the bad side of a good half dozen dudes at this point due to my work, which I would say is a grossly small estimate as to how many people she's on the bad side of. But new Twitter doesn't let me untag still. That's not to mention the many multitudes who are not directly related to my articles, but simply hate that I wrote them in the first place. So I'll impart a bit of important advice here, the reason behind my work in the first place. The people in these stories and myself as the author are humans with lives and families, not a bunch of statistical data to try to hypothesize about. I'm going to toot my horn here for a second. Since someone else in that thread decided, while arguing with the I Stand With Vic person, decided to call me both a shitty journalist and call my work gossip. Hi, how fucking dare you? Okay. In the last 9 months, I have authored, researched, edited, and or managed upwards of 20 articles detailing accounts from victims of a multitude of men across the North America convention circuit. Okay. We've looked at many of them on the podcast. I have spoken with women harassed and abused when they were as young as 13. I've spent hours listening to audio recordings shared with me with the utmost trust. I have reviewed letters threatening suicide. I have tried to hold it together while these women cried. Okay. You want to equate this shit to gossip? You want to tell me that I work for a tabloid rag? I'll be 100% real with you. If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, keep the victims and my work out of your fucking mouth.
Now, I've mentioned this before the podcast began.
What's up?
I noticed even with her stating all this stuff and all the other people blaming Vic, and I'm not claiming to be on either side, but there's a lot of unfiltering on professional accounts that keep happening, which makes them
pointing out that her account is at ANN Lindsay, as in Anime News Network.
She is using her professional account for this.
Twitter was a mistake. So
Twitter's not a mistake, just how people use it is baffling.
It's a mistake. It's a mistake. So anyway, I hadn't read the whole article, the whole thread here before the podcast, but I mean, she sounds. What's the First stage is denial. Second stage is anger, whatever, you know. I feel like she's starting to feel like she may very well get sued, and she's probably not shared it yet, but she probably has gotten a not a cease and desist. What is it called? The thing that Jesse Pridemore and Mars Girl got that was saying, like, you know, preservation of data and all that, you know. So that'll be interesting, and I really legitimately feel like her actions show me, I mean, this is speculation, but they show me that she's afraid of being sued, and you should be, you know.
Yeah.
Especially after article after article have come out and the facts do not support what you wrote. With so many people talking about things, I mean, just how many, like, when they had to remove people from that first article because they took that information from the Tumblr blog instead of actually getting it from the actual person, and that person came out and said, "How dare you? The information you provided is false. That's a picture of me. Here's other pictures from the same event. It was completely consensual. I asked for the picture to be taken. My mom took the picture, blah, blah, all that stuff, you know." So I mean, I'm glad to see that if nothing else, I'm glad that what's going on in the lawsuit has caused people like Mars Girl and Lindsay Loveridge, who wrote that article, which, to be perfectly clear, some of the other articles she wrote about the convention harassment people that we have covered on the podcast, I think are perfectly fine. She has actually sourced actual quotes from the people admitting to, you know, how do you orally rape? What is the proper, the guy who gave oral sex to the girl while she was passed out and he was drunk and he verbally admitted to doing it. Good. That's due diligence. But when you do the stuff where you're like, we reached out to them for comment and they didn't, and before press time, it's like, right, when you reach out a minute before you hit enter, right? So anyway, I hate that. I fucking hate journalists like that. But anyway, so yeah, just to be clear, I think that she's written articles that have been a little bit more unbiased in the past, but that one on Vic absolutely wasn't. Anyway, and I'm glad to see, like I said, if nothing else, that Mars Girl and her people like them are seeing that you can't just do whatever the hell you want and say whatever the hell you want and defame people without there being potential consequences. So that's great. Now.
Oh yeah, is there any date for Mars Girl?
No, because they haven't even gone through the first round.
Okay.
If Vic wins, this is how the lawsuit works. You go after the people that you're most likely to win, who have the most to give you when you win. Mars Girl is throwing up a GoFundMe for cat litter or whatever. All right, she doesn't have money. Suing Mars Girl is not going to give Vic financial compensation.
Right.
You know, I still think he should do it.
Yeah.
You know, because I think that you have to show that this behavior isn't going to be tolerated anymore. People on Twitter need to be given notice that this has consequences, right? But the thing is that you have to go after the people that you're most likely to win against, who have the most to give you when you win. Funimation's going to be able to pay out $1 million. Marky, Toye, and Rial probably can't pay out $1 million immediately, but that is something that over the remainder of their life, they can be punished with that sort of compensation payment. And lawyer fees and stuff are going to suck if they lose TCPA and all that too. So Mars Girl will be like third or fourth wave when they get there.
If he's able to win these waves and it sides with him. For Mars Girl, if those waves win, obviously he'll win that one because.
One last thing. If he wins the waves that he's in right now, the chances of him winning each successive wave is even better, right? Because he'll have established in the court the grounds of the things that people said was false, you know, and like that'll get proven.
For her in particular, I don't want to see her go to jail. I want her
to jail for defamation.
Okay.
Well, it's not a criminal case.
Yeah, this is a civil case.
Okay. As long as she gets the fine and she has to go work and do a civil job right after this, and hopefully
So
she will be forcefully removed from the social medias.
Augie is saying he wants the punishment for Mars Girl to be that she can't be a internet personality anymore because she has to get a real job.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Everyone funds her marriage through
GoFundMe
online
and bullshit.
donations and
I
eBay.
need 14 tons of cat litter. Please fund me.
That's not a way to live.
By the way, it also seems that her GoFundMe that we talked about. Remember, I said that I support. I said this from the very beginning. I support both sides of this litigation. Right.
Breaking news: Reese has just commented she has to get a real job now.
I thought you were reading that before it popped up for me.
Hold on, I thought I misread that. She has a real job now. Sorry, that's not breaking news.
She has to get a real job. Yeah. Okay. So,
like what? Postal
what
delivery?
was I talking about? I totally lost it. What was I saying?
Things and stuff and verbs with adjectives.
Well, that didn't help me at all. Fuck. What were we talking about?
Mars Girl not having a job.
Oh yeah, the GoFundMe's.
Yeah.
So I said before that I'm totally on the side of both sides of this litigation in the sense that I think that the facts are on Vic's side. I do. I haven't seen anything yet that makes me believe any of the allegations have any credibility whatsoever. And everyone that seemed like it might have any credibility upon the lightest bit of digging has been disproven. For example, Onicon 2008 cosplay show is like, nope, charity stream. It wasn't for the kiss. It was actually for the his Tamaki Suo jacket from Oron High School Host Club. Yeah, just complete disregard for the truth, right? Anyway, but
I also love how he said there was only a bid for what, $20, and it's like it was actually $820. So he tried to devalue his.
Let me clarify. So it wasn't actually $800. It was $400, and Vic matched the $400. So he says we raised $800 because he was matching the bid. So he was giving the same amount that whoever won the bid gave, right?
Okay, I was going to say she paid a lot of money.
No, those numbers sound very similar to a Kickstarter we might talk about later.
Well, hold on. So real quick, I want to show this. Congratulations on 1.5K. Here's the thing. I'm not at 1.5K. Oh, actually, wait, am I? I am at one.
Yes, celebrate, damn it.
Hold on.
You're given that, you celebrate. Now put on a party hat.
I am. Okay, great. I was going to say, YouTube's doing that. When I look at it, sometimes it says I'm at 2K already when I'm not. So thank you for the congratulations. I appreciate that.
I like that he used Joshu from Joe Jolian.
Yeah, props to your amazing avatar there. Okay, so let me get back to this real quick. So sorry guys, I've had a hell of a day, and I'll explain a little bit in a minute. But the GoFundMe. So we were talking about how I support GoFundMe's on all sides. Like I'm staying out of it. I'm not giving to any of them. But I talked specifically about her GoFundMe, Mars Girl's GoFundMe, when I said that I support Vic's, the existence of it, and the the purpose of it, because it's going to an IOLTA account. Meaning it's going directly to the lawsuit, right? And I said, I don't support Mars Girls because she claims it's for legal stuff, but there's nothing stopping her from taking the money and running. And it seems, I have no proof of this, but it seems, pardon me, it seems that that she actually bought a bunch of games on Steam shortly after that GoFundMe. And people are speculating that she used that GoFundMe to line her pockets.
She's almost as bad as the creator Psychonauts with his GoFundMe money. He, from what I understand, he got the GoFundMe money for Psychonauts 2, then for some reason flushed the money, a portion of the money for some reason.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, let me. Okay, so KyoAni news. Let me jump in this real quick. I'll be honest. I wait until the very end because I hate reading this stuff. So I wait till the very end, and there might be some extra details in here that I've been a little bit less thorough in terms of this stuff. But I think we're wrapping up on Kill Annie. Nothing terribly interesting. But Japanese news outlets are pressuring the police to release the names of the rest of the victims. And supposedly there's a disagreement between two separate police apparatuses in Japan as to whether or not they should be released. So that's all in addition to that. Bottom line is there's some pressure. And we might get to know the names of the victims. Who knows? KyoAni has dismantled the memorial in front of Studio One. They thanked everybody for all their support and everything, blah, blah, blah. Japanese government will now be treating the donations to Kyoto Animation as disaster relief rather than revenue. And so they are offering a tax break to both the donators and the studio, meaning that that money isn't going to be taxed as heavily or whatever when they receive it. So it's not like a third or whatever of the money is going to go right back to the government after it gets donated to them. And the arsonist has submitted several novels to KyoAni's contests. Now, I haven't read this article yet. We are going to read it together. And then we'll do pickups. So,
Reese, $5. Hooray! 1.5. Heyo, that rhymeso.
Thank you, Reese. Hooray! Okay, because he said hooray 1.5K. The K is what rhymed. Anyway. All right, so school day stories among genres of submissions. So 1 month after the arson attack on Kyoto Animation's Fushimi Anime Studio, not going to say his name. I actually don't really care about that whole thing, but I let Reese decide whether or not we were going to say it on the podcast, so I'm not going to say it. So who was taken into police custody immediately following the attack remains in the hospital. The arsonist was heard shouting, "I spread the gasoline and lit it with a lighter," as police subdued him. But his ongoing medical treatment for burns sustained in the incident had prevented his formal arrest. And mental health issues may limit the legal repercussions that can be brought against him, meaning that the death penalty might be off the table if they can prove it. But we've already discussed
regardless, this guy is not going to have a comfortable lifestyle after this. So,
you know what? It seems like he probably didn't have a very comfortable life prior to it either.
Yeah.
Anyway, so however, investigators are already gathering evidence and building a case against the 41-year-old arsonist. While being taken into custody, the arsonist also accusingly said, "They stole my novel." And after a subsequent search through the entries for Kyoto Animation's annual Kyoto Animation Awards, a novel writing contest open to both professionals and amateur writers, Kyoto Animation said it had indeed received a novel from the arsonist. Damn, I can't believe how hard it is for me to not say the name. Further investigation, though, has turned up not just a single novel from the arsonist, but multiple entries to the Kyoto Animation Awards contest. According to a source connected to the investigation and quoted by Reuters, oh, okay, that was the end of the
Reuters.
Reuters, Reuters. The British
people with roids. Hemorrhoids.
No, a number of novels were stories about the school days of junior or senior high school students, raising the possibility that the arsonist believed that elements in one of his submitted novels were copied by Kyoto Animation in one of the studio's school set anime series. The arson attack claimed lives 35. Wow, that was completely covered in the synopsis I put down, even though I didn't really say more than that. I'm going to do it because only one person actually bothered to say it. Thank you, Reese, for contributing to my question. I will be upgrading to the basic plan, and we can.
Well, the thing is, if in say 3 months is when they implement the new, what is it, the limited streams or whatever, then that's 3 months that you didn't pay whatever the fee is, or what is it, $20 a month?
Yeah.
So
the thing is that,
but they're getting you to pay now.
Yeah.
Until that time.
Okay. But long term, if we do the stream long enough, if we continue the podcast long enough, the lifetime discount will overwrite that we did 3 months of it at the rate we'd be getting, right? So that's why I want to do that. Anyway, and like you guys said, it seems like we're already at a threshold where hopefully the Patreon is going to cover it. Obviously, it'd be better to get more because I hate the idea that the Patreon goes directly to mean, I guess it makes sense. The Patreon should go straight to this instead of getting distributed to everybody. But I totally forgot. So let's do pickups. Who wants to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Can't hear you.
I can.
Tell me. Okay.
Yeah,
So up next, it's not baked, but it's a disco delivery with Naga Sarete Arianto. Ooh. Spin that baby round and round. There's a piggy. Don't frown.
I have been waiting for... Where'd you buy that?
I pre-ordered it from Right Stuff, and it came in.
I pre-ordered it from Amazon, and the last month or two, it's been unable to be delivered or out of stock. So I don't know how you got that.
Pure luck and Kleckner.
Pure luck and living in the United States.
That too. Up next is Lupin III, Goemon's Blood Spray. Ooh, he fights a malicious lumberjack right over here. Yeah. And this one, it has the same sort of style in the back, just like Jigen's gravestone.
Goemon's gravestone.
Ooh, it's been bad enough. Followed.
Makes you feel better. I didn't get it either.
And I also got on the Japari bus with Kimono Friends, Volume 1, the anime show, an early child anime show based on a cell phone game that failed, but the production of this show really succeeded, so that's how it was able to live.
Wasn't it canceled before it even aired?
It was canceled episode 2, and the production didn't even know that was canceled, but kept working on it anyway. This is fully dubbed, and they made sure that at the Otakon, Discotheque's Otakon panel. So I'm not sure when season 2 comes in, but I know it's a different beast. Up next is something from Shout Factory / it doesn't say it, but I'm going to say G Kids anyway. Penguin Highway. Blank. Ooh. Did y'all see this in theaters? I wasn't able to. How about you, AC? AC's gone. You know what that means. All right. So following the DVD Blu-ray is a finally finished Black Lagoon with Roberta's
Blood Trail.
Yeah. Ooh, spin that around. I have not seen this series. Yeah, I've seen 1 or 2 episodes on Toonami, and that was about it. And finally completing the current release of this until they put the hard disk release for the Netflix series is Ghost in the Shell. What is this one? The new movie. Ooh, never old, always new.
Oh, damn it. That's the slipcase that they never gave me. Now I'm sad.
Yeah, you should be. This is a really cool slipcase.
Well, that makes me feel a lot better.
It shines. Ooh, look at that.
Hey, FDDNM, how many pickups do you have out of curiosity?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, Augie, how many do you have left?
4 more left.
Okay, I'm gonna. My stomach is acting up. I'm gonna need to run to the bathroom in a minute.
Go. Don't take that shit.
I'm gonna switch it to FDDM when he's gone.
Okay,
he's got 10.
So
you stall more often.
So I would go through not the finger, thumb, but it's just the toe stuff for later. But this is the final save edition that I need to complete the save edition green brick that you see right here. Up next is Mezzo Forte, and there's not much.
Mezzo. It's Italian.
Mezzo Forte.
Mezzo.
Yeah. Like mezzo soprano or whatever?
Sure.
Followed by Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, so I only lack whatever the middle of the series for the Diamond Pearl saga is, and Detective Pikachu, and I will be current with
Oh, that's
Pokemon.
thank you for bringing that up.
Followed by something kind of questionable. Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger. This is the bonus disc that was with the game. What's interesting is IGN is on the back. So what
So Augie, I need to address this real quick.
Yes.
You commented in our chat.
Yep.
You really need to think, like you move a little too quick. This is what you said, because for podcast, IGN made the content on the disc, and it's hosted by Jessica Chabot.
Yes.
With no context whatsoever to what you're talking about.
I know. What's strange is they reviewed the game and created bonus content for it. So that kind of raises a little question on the ethics here. But yes, it was that person. Apparently that person is on the disc talking about how amazing this game is. And those are my pickups.
All right. We good?
We're good. All right, I'm going to run to the bathroom. I'll see you guys in a minute.
Don't forget to wait.
Okay. First pickup. Uh-oh. I don't know what side I'm leaning towards. We got Legend of Crystania in 5.1 with cracked-ish disc in the center, but still plays fine, so I don't care. Next up.
I hate that they went with a lavender color for the essentials.
I think they should have just not had the banner at all. But, you can't really change that. Unless you make a custom slipcase, but that's neither here nor there. Now, this is the greatest anime of all time, Ruby. I haven't actually watched... Yes. I don't know why I read that now. But I got this because it was like literally $15 or whatever on Amazon.ca. And I'm like, okay, let's give this trash heap a whirl on Blu-ray. And it's volumes 1 through 5. And I watched a couple episodes of the first one when it came out, and I don't know. I thought it looked like they shoved every anime trope they could possibly think of into one Americanized love letter to anime, except in 3D. But as JT Master says, in volumes, I think it's 5 or 4 or something, they switched to Maya, and the animation quality is much better. So I'm somewhat looking forward to seeing what he's talking about. Next,
what is GB?
We have... What is what?
Continue. Reset. Okay. I got no pickups and hate Augie for getting GBS. I'll figure that out.
GBS?
Yeah, GBS.
Ghost in the Shell Butt Sucker? I don't know. So we got Blood Spray.
Thank you, AC.
Okay, Galaxy Angel A? Is that what it is? I'm excited to see what these will all look like when they release the entire series, because they'll look so neat together.
What's the episode count on the back?
I think this one...
AA was artificially made.
This one's 350 minutes, but I think they're like half-length episodes. Okay, it says 26 episodes.
26?
So yeah, that's basically half-length.
I hope that's all of it and you don't have to buy AA, but... I will check.
Well, no, A and AA are separate seasons. This is just A. AA is coming after. As far as I know.
Getting that series on DVD, just the A one. For some reason, there was a surplus in the UK, but hardly any in the US. That was very strange.
You mean the stock?
Yeah. The stock of the product.
Well, now you don't have to worry about that. You can get Nozomi's release of it. Now that I think of it, I think I've mentioned this before, but Nozomi seems to exclusively license stuff that is like in that early 2000s era where they started SD. So every single Blu-ray they seem to have is upscales. I just think that's bizarre. So then we got Akiba's Trip. I didn't ever want to commit to paying the full price for the like the original combo pack, and I thought, hey, this is a good opportunity to finally get the show and
Which is strange.
potentially get it out of the way.
What price did you pay
Was
for
that?
it? What price did you pay for a Kiva strip?
I think it was like $26 after tax and stuff, which isn't that bad. It's an essentials version, and this one doesn't appear to be reversible. But you know, the spine is all that really matters.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Well,
you can just make your own slipcase.
You saw what strategy I applied to get kind of caught up with Funimation. For some strange reason, getting it with the slipcase, because I want the DVD with it. That's why I went for the slipcase versions. It was like the price of the pre-order for the essentials for a brief bit. Then the essential came out, which is strange.
Right, that usually happens, but it didn't seem to happen with Akiba's trip. I also bought a copy for my brother at the same time because it's his birthday.
Okay. Oh, do you have?
And he played the games, but he was all like, this anime looks terrible because I don't know, the character designs are different or something."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, there's no nudity in it. It should basically be a hentai." It's like, well, in the game, did they show nudity? No. It's like, well, why do you expect the anime to have it? Anyway.
He needs to read
Anyway, onwards. Actually, it is TVMA as last time I checked. So it could have stuff I haven't seen before. I also watched it when it was airing, so double noted. So then we got Hunter Sex Hunter, Volume 6. And people had this early, like a couple weeks ago, and I just finally got mine this week. Which is nice because there's only one volume left, and it looks pretty nice in the collection.
There aren't any more gift with purchases that they've been doing, right?
Am I here? Are you guys here?
I see and hear you, but you're like, you were stopped.
Okay, Brad just came back.
You just have an existential crisis.
Yeah, there's a stutter there. I'm like, what's going on? Sorry. What I was saying was with the movies and all that, all nice together, it looks nice. Were you saying something, Brad?
I was asking if it had gift with purchase, because they used to do the Hunter Association cards for the first couple seasons.
No,
and I was just curious.
Amazon.
Okay, well, Right Stuff used to do to the audience. Let me know if they've had more than I think 4 cards, because I know that they stopped doing it, right?
I don't know if my connection's going to hell or if it's yours.
Hunter, you are here. Thank you. Oh, snap. Okay. Yes. During the podcast doc stuff, thank you for reminding me, dude. While I was going through the doc, I had a thing where my tab crashed or whatever, and I lost a bunch of stuff I added, and I'm realizing I didn't put that back in. But since you're here reminding me, you're not done with your pickups, right?
You never said it was finished. He's looking into the camera.
Footnum, are you there?
The lag makes him look concerned and not sure.
FDDNM, can you hear me?
Can you hear us? We're not in Houston.
Well, since he can't hear us, I wanted to share.
Hello.
And I'll. Oh, you're back.
He hears.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Okay. Are you done with your pickups?
I have a massive delay.
Yes.
Yes. Pickups. Pick-ups. You
Oh my god.
got them?
Leave the
I'm
stream
just
and come
gonna
back.
do my pickups whether you guys hear me or not.
Okay, cool.
Leave the stream. Okay. I'll leave.
No, do it. Damn.
See what you done? Bring it over to me for a sec. Okay, so what I've been drinking, or pop the cap off, is this Lucky Jack's coffee. It's not alcoholic, but it's nitrogen infused. And I'm not going to lie, this has a really strong kick. It's bitter as all get out. But there you go. Oh.
So, oh God. Okay. Well, while he's gone, so this is Hunter's eBay store, and I wanted to share it, and I think you guys should save him. Is I'm not logged in apparently. That's fucking fantastic.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
I'm gonna paste it here in the chat. Hunter is selling Hunter, not himself twice. He's selling the original 1999 series here for what I think is a decent price, and I'm gonna point you to the make it offer button because you might want to see what he's willing to sell it for. So anyway, he's got it here. They look to be in pretty decent condition. The only damage I see is not quite a crease, but just a little fold on what looks to be set 3 here.
And that's typical wear for these
That's
boxes.
typical. Yeah, that's let me put it this way. These don't pop up on eBay very often, and you would be hard pressed to find another one that is in better condition. From what I've seen. And by the way, this that thing in the top left corner there, that's the box underneath. It's kind of a bad angle on that picture. That's not damage to that set. So anyway, I wanted to remind you guys about that, and also his. Sorry,
The one I want to kind of highlight is the Gunbuster.
Gunbuster. Hold on,
actually, it is a decent price.
I want to let FDM go through before he dies again.
That's a nice way to put it. Am I delayed again?
Yes. No, you're good.
Yes.
You're good.
I'm delayed. Okay. I caved and got the Naruto 4 movie collection because it saves me one space in my collection because and it also has the first movie in HD because they never released that standalone in HD. So that's nice. It's a pretty nice collection. It comes with 4 separate discs as well, so it's not like they're compressing the hell out of them on one disc.
Isn't there like 8 movies to Shippuden?
Well, yeah, but this is the Rasengan collection. I'm assuming they're going to do a Chidori collection next or something. Okay. Probably not.
The Sexy no Jutsu collection.
I don't know, man. But they have like 3 more movies, and then it's the Boruto movie, so I don't know if they're going to slap that in together or they're going to make a Boruto movie collection later if that gets more movies. But for now, let's go on to Ronja, the hard to get the sticker off show.
Oh, yeah.
It had a sticker on here, and I was like using a razor blade to try and peel it off. Got there eventually. And then we got Hina Matsuri, which I believe the season it aired, everyone was saying it was like the funniest show ever.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I watched is it 2 or 3 episodes?
We don't know
good,
that.
But it's nowhere near as funny as I thought it would be.
Keep watching.
Well, yeah, I'm continuing.
You should be watching.
So then I got Hanebado, which is a show I confused verbally with Hina Matsuri, but they both came out on the same slate. But
you could have fooled me. When you look at the spine, I feel like I'm looking at Darling in the Franxx.
Yeah?
It reminds me of that track show.
Which one? Princess Stride Alternative?
Escaflowne?
Princess Stride, yeah. Or whatever.
And then we got the obligatory Naked Boys Club without nipples, Enslaved, Dive to the Future. It comes with a terrible... it comes with a add-on thing. Yeah. And the chipboard box is actually... What?
Is that a new thing? Oh, fuck. There's another one?
Yeah, it's season 3.
God damn it. How many of these am I going to have to buy?
Well, there's seasons 1 through 3, then the movies collection.
I'm just missing that one.
Come out from it after the Kawani
This literally just came out, Brad. You didn't miss the ship yet.
I know, but I just don't have the money for this shit right now.
Well, maybe you would if you didn't get Streamy or Premium, but that's not part of the thing. Okay, so this is slightly thinner because of the add-on. Just so you know, so you're going to be really pissed off when you get that. And it's also like one case. I had to get this replaced because there's a crack in the other one. Good luck. I'm disappointed that I'm putting so much effort into free. But I got to keep up to date with those Funimation Limited editions. And yeah, I don't think I had anything else.
All right. Back to Hunter. So, yeah, we want to show you. So he said he's going to put more up when he gets on break from college. So just to show here, we've got, Well, we'll open that one again. Gunbuster. This is, if you want, okay, the only version that's available is the movie version, unless you buy this set. I would recommend it.
I would recommend it
this
now
is a
because
decent price.
Yeah.
Again, make an offer, Augie.
I already own it.
Okay. So
You know what?
Anyway, it's a decent value, right?
I'm going to call Hunter out right now and say that when I look at his eBay page, it says may not ship to Canada. He's totally going to ship to Canada.
Yeah. Also, Katana Gatsuri Premium Editions 1 and 2. If you guys know anybody who's looking for these, tip them off, please. Right? Also, apparently, Hunter, I'm outing you as a fan of Vsauce.
Hey, what's wrong with Vsauce?
It's just funny that it's in the background there. Anyway, and then I accidentally clicked on the Hunter one again. And Emma Victorian Romance, which I will admit I won't recommend you guys buy because of the dub coming out. So, but I hope. Well,
that unless you like sub and you want specifically those limited editions.
Yeah, because these are limited edition. They do have additional items in them. I expect that the Kickstarter version is going to have these as well, though, because of the Kickstarter version. If you're going to try to get somebody to crowdfund something, you're going to put all the best stuff you got in it, right? So anyway, I
should message Hunter on how to sell on eBay, because every time I look at it, I'm like, this seems like a lot of work.
Oh, like for advice on how you can sell stuff?
Not even advice, just on how to actually run eBay to sell.
So the reason I've never used eBay is because there's a listing fee.
Right.
And yeah, so with Stealth Weeb, I specifically have my own. Let's see, I can sell my Stealth Weeb products on Amazon, and Etsy and eBay and all that, but I have to pay a stupid fee. And the thing is that I know half of those shirts are nobody's ever going to buy them. You know what I mean? I don't want to pay the stupid fee,
right?
Because they're up there to populate the site, and I just know that not like some of them are going to sell really well compared to others. Anyway, but pickups for me, this is probably the most pickups I've had in 6 months at least.
I got 14 copies of Free Dive to the Future.
So Detective Pikachu Best Buy exclusive steelbook, which I think I showed this with Alita. Boy, do I fucking hate how these logos. God, I hate this not being mirrored either. How these logos look on. Look how fucking tiny that is.
It's probably because they have to put that insert into the spine,
yes.
So they
yeah. And when you design your dumb logo to be like so tall, right, instead of just straight across and not have a variant, it just looks so bad. Alita was.
There's one of the Gundams that I was thinking that's going to be like really hard to put in on a small spine.
Imagine the Fate Stay Night logo in that itty bitty tiny thing. Okay, so I've got that, and then I've got. After the last podcast, I made a purchase on Right Stuff, and I picked up Megalobox because I didn't want this to slip my grasp. Fuck, man,
the music is so awkward.
That looks super neon on the camera.
I like it. It does, but I like it.
So
I want to see it.
Hey, we can do that for a watch club now, I guess.
Yeah.
I also got fuck me. I also got JoJo Set 4, so we can do that for a watch club. And oh fuck, I was gonna queue this up. Damn it.
It's like every pickup you pull out, you're progressively more upset.
Okay, well, I was gonna do so. Funimation has a thing called Hey Nice Package on their YouTube channel.
Yes.
And the person who made this is featured on it. And she talks about being an anime collector, consistency in sets is really important to me. Fuck you.
Really?
This enormous
my
I was going to
God.
cue that up. I was going to cue that up and play that right at this moment.
Oh.
Consistency in sets. Fire that bitch.
Oh, go ahead and do it. Might as well see it in full.
No, I don't have the exact timestamp pulled up. I can't do it. So I also picked up Vic Mignogna in concert off of his website because this has Full Metal Fantasy. Yeah, so he finally released it on DVD. Unfortunately, his mom sent it to me, and unfortunately, it was not her fault. It's luck of the draw with whoever going through the shipping and everything. But the case is damaged. It's like cracked right here. It looks like I hate this not being mirrored. All I have to do is replace the case. There's just like a crack here. Not that big of a deal. And to my surprise, even though this really shouldn't be a surprise, because he did the same thing, I think, for his music CDs and stuff, it's a pressed disc. So it's not a burned disc. Anyway,
wow.
That's going in the crap right at the beginning, like all the documentaries and weird stuff like Yuri Lowenthal's Van Von Hunter at the beginning of my collection. Anyway, and then I got something else. So I hope that didn't show up on camera because Pop Chasers isn't
Got
something
some nudity there.
Yeah, it's one of the VHS tapes from Filmco. All right, so why my day has been so hectic. I went to Goodwill today, and every other Saturday, Goodwills in my area have 50% off sale. So because they gotta like liquidate how much stuff they get in, and my wife needed us to get some furniture, which we got like a stupidly good deal on stuff, but. We went to the book section, the kids' books, and I found Speed Racer, Race for Revenge.
Uh-oh. Wait,
And
is
if
that
you
one
guys-
with the memory car?
Is that one? No. If you
Oh.
guys are real good, I'll read you a bedtime story tonight, even though it'll probably take a full hour to get through the whole book. So, anyway.
We should do that as a video.
Well, I could do it on stream. So, but yeah, the reason my day's been so hectic is, first of all, I didn't get started on articles until noon. And yes, I need more than 9 hours to do this. I probably put at least 20 hours into this every week. But the thing is that I'm going through like drinking caffeine and stuff. And I went to the grocery store right next to Goodwill to grab some caffeine. Didn't have any like energy drinks that I thought looked good. So I went and got coffee, and I got my normal coffee, which is a vanilla sweet cream cold brew with an added shot of espresso. Their espresso machine wasn't working, so I'm like, oh, that's all right. I don't need that added shot. I got 2 of them. I drank both of them today, and I've had like all the negative effects of caffeine, like jitteriness and stuff, and none of the positive effects, like being awake. And then when I right before the podcast started, I ran out. I'm like, I got to get more caffeine. I'm not going to make it through this. And then I realized, cold brews have like 2 shots of espresso in them normally. The added shot brings it like to 3 or 4, right? And that means I had almost no caffeine today. That's why my day was so awful. So anyway, I'm doing much better now, and that's good. I thought the podcast was going to go really rough tonight. So enough stalling. Let's get into articles. Oh, actually, we've got this one first.
Ooh, what we got?
A Disney whistleblower is accusing the company of overstating its revenue by billions. This is from Markets Insider.
Yeah.
A former senior accountant at Disney has accused the entertainment titan of overstating its revenue by billions of dollars. Sandra Kuba, who worked at Disney for 18 years, made the claims in whistleblower filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. The allegations were reported by MarketWatch, which reviewed the filings and supporting documents. Disney has dismissed the claims as, quote, utterly baseless. In the filings, Kuba alleged that employees in Disney's Parks and Resorts division recorded non-existent revenue from free golf rounds and guest promotions. She claimed workers recognized the $500 face value of gift cards as revenue, even when the guests purchased them at a 20% discount. They also double counted revenue from gift cards by recording sales when guests bought them and when they used them, and recognized revenue from gift cards that were given to guests free, she alleged. Kuba told MarketWatch that Disney's revenue could have been overstated by as much as $6 billion, about 20%, in 2009 alone. The Parks and Resorts division accounted for nearly 30% of total revenue that year. According to the group's annual report, Kuba added that flaws in the firm's accounting software helped to hide the revenue manipulation. Kuba reported the issue to management in 2013. brought them to the attention of a senior executive in 2016 and flagged them to the SEC in August 2017, she told MarketWatch. She was fired about a month later and filed a whistleblower retaliation complaint with the Department of Labor in October 2017. Disney told government investigators it fired Kuba because, quote, she displayed a pattern of workplace complaints against coworkers without a reasonable basis for doing so, in a manner that was inappropriate, disruptive, and in bad faith, according to MarketWatch. So she complained too much about the illegal reporting we were doing on our revenue, right? She just complained about that too much. Kuba has made 2 other whistleblower filings since leaving Disney. In June, she alleged that some Disney employees tried to slash the firm's sales tax liabilities by reclassifying revenue from highly taxed items, such as hotel rooms, as revenue from lower tax items, such as food and beverages, MarketWatch reported. This former employee, who was fired for cause, has persistently made patently false claims over 2 years, a Disney spokesperson told Markets Insider. The claims she made to the company were thoroughly investigated and found to be utterly baseless. It is unfortunate that MarketWatch, which has been aware of the facts for months, knowingly and deliberately chose to give Ms. Kuba's unfounded claims a platform. First of all, fuck everybody who uses that. You gave them a platform. Fuck you. Get over it. Kuba did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Markets Insider. So I'll just say that you can't say for sure at this stage whether or not it's true. And here's the thing. If you overstate your revenue by billions, I don't think the SEC cares. Because if you overstate your revenue, you're paying more taxes.
Yeah.
The people that you're fucking over with overstating your revenue ain't the government. It's the shareholders.
Yeah.
Right?
Which
so,
they,
good.
If I recall correctly, if they do that and it affects the shareholders, something can be happened to the current CEO. Oh, that makes them liable.
I mean, a lot of shit can happen.
Oh yeah. So
most
I'm wondering
notably,
if this is also a trend put someone else in that chair.
The stock price will probably plummet when as this gets out more and more. So anyway,
I'm more for Disney. I'm more concerned about them owning Sony to keep Spider-Man than through trade and transition, eventually owning Toei.
Okay,
what?
Disney doesn't own Sony.
I know. I'm referring back to the midpoint of this week where they lost the rights to Spider-Man in the MCU after what looked like to be a good pairing.
Why did they lose it again?
What?
What?
What say after?
I said, why did they lose the rights to Spider-Man after the MCU again?
Okay. They tried to negotiate. They tried to renegotiate a 50%. Not a revenue split. It was the production cost or something like that. They tried to get Sony to pay more towards production cost, and Sony didn't. It was a bad deal for Sony. So Sony disagreed with it, and Disney, who owns ABC and several other media outlets, decided to slam Sony as being the ones responsible for Spider-Man leaving the MCU as punishment for not going with their offer that Sony shouldn't have been able to refuse, to use a Godfather quote. So Sony, I think Disney was the one who fucked up big over there. Yeah, so Reese, thank you for bringing that up. Did I ever get Steins Gate Zero? No. And I'm kicking myself heavily because I totally forgot to buy it. And I don't want to, at the time, I thought I was going to have more money. And now that I don't have as much as I was hoping to have at this point, I have to go with not getting it still, unfortunately. Anyway, so that's news about Disney. I kind of look forward to them crashing and burning. I look forward to a lot of companies crashing and burning in the near future, actually.
That's really pleasant.
Well, I think that, I don't know. I'm interested to see how the Epstein thing unfolds, to put it lightly.
Oh, all right. Oh yeah, there's one other
I
Kickstarter.
know. I got it here. You sent it to me. God damn it.
This is moving slow.
It actually kind of makes sense. Why?
Yeah.
So-
Cover this. Okay, go ahead.
So I think last podcast I said something like next week they'd be at the 200,000, but I didn't take into consideration the fact that their initial jolt came from the fact that they sold all of the 6,000. Oh no, there's only one limit, one of one. So they sold.
I mean,
7
technically, you're
out of the
right. They
10.
did sell all.
Well, yeah, but they sold all of these $1,000 ones, basically, right? So 7 $2,500, the one $6,000 one, this a 10 $2,500 one here, right? So that's where I think the bulk of the jump came from, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, how far are they into the stretch goals right now?
They're not. They haven't reached the first one yet. The first one is
I'm pretty sure they did.
125,000.
I thought he announced that they did.
I thought it read we're almost touching it, but
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he didn't yet.
I'm kind of not a fan with how he listed the stretch goals this time because I remember I think
Okay.
for
Do you know why? Every
I do
other
not.
Kickstarter has been a Keiichi Sonoda thing. I'm sure that Keiichi Sonoda was doing artwork for it.
Okay.
They don't have that this time around because they're not. God damn it! So disorienting to try to navigate with the thing. I keep seeing my mouse on the other screen where the StreamYard thing is, and I keep getting lost. Anyway, so I imagine that they don't have the art provided because Keiichi Sonoda is not helping with this one. I don't think.
Well, I meant for like listing the stretch goals.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm saying that if they don't have the artist that's helping them, then they have to do it differently.
Okay.
Unfortunately. So,
Because really the only one that I care about is making sure I get all tracks. I know that sounds pretty narrow out of all the stuff offered.
except that they specifically listed that out already, and we talked about that last podcast.
Yeah,
You're
that's
referring
true.
to the stretch goal?
Well, it's not really a stretch goal. It's like this is a risk, and we will try to do what we can, but it doesn't list how far money amount they want to go for it.
So this is also what's holding them back right here is the
Yeah.
USA only thing. But
Right.
once that gets sorted out, hopefully that'll change. Anyway.
So would they do a second Kickstarter in that regard?
A second Kickstarter for what?
To try to reach more English language.
No, they
countries.
said that they're in the process of trying to negotiate, so they'll open it up to the other people once they get there. You know,
Okay.
like if that happens, they'll open it up to more people. Anyway,
Well, we have 2 dubs for episode 2, so
so anime related, the series Blu-ray has met its goal.
yes.
So
then
that's good.
then the stretch goals happen.
Yeah, what were the stretch goals? None of them were. I was like,
One was like, we'll complete what we're trying.
why can't I open up Will's? Like it's okay. Oh yeah, this stupid fucking thing. I'm curious what his other ones were that he created. These are the ones he's backed. Here are the ones he's created. Oh dear God. Oh dear God.
Well,
Yeah, I'm just gonna double check and make sure there's nothing explicit on there. I'm pretty sure that that's paint and not a bloody nipple or something. God, that's horrible. Do you remember that guy that we keep seeing? Who that Japanese guy who keeps starting a Kickstarter for that same project over and over again? That has better artwork than what we just saw.
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, back to this. What were the stretch goals?
Scroll down and we should see. We might have to. There it is. No. That's the production. Never mind.
Oh, here they are.
There
All
it
right.
is.
Remastered files. Resurrect any lost files for a third Blu-ray.
That should have been the goal to begin with.
Dude, it's only $850 for the exclusive poster print. Who cares? Oh yeah, the STL and .blend files for additional character set for 3D printing. Yeah, I'm not going to 3D print it, but digital draft copy and anime related for bad dubbing script. Yeah, but who? I mean, are you scripting me? I guess you are. Yeah, he does have a host. Come to think of it, God, they're cringy and bad. But he does have a host who talks at the beginning. God, honestly, if it were me, I would have just treated these as a vlog, and I think it would have been a lot better. But the part of them that really shines is the footage of conventions at that time, and that's where the project is really like nostalgic and whatnot. But the rest of it is so bad. Like the Photoshop cutout on here is like horrendously bad. Anyway,
oh, it's a relic.
I love you, Will. I hope you get the fourth one out. I want to see it, but boy, there's a lot of bad production value.
Curious to know if one of our viewers gave the $30 needed to fund this, or if it was just him himself, just to say, let's continue with the
only 10 backers. So I guess it's been roughly like $50 per person.
Hello, Lance.
Hello, Lance.
Hey, man, how you doing? Anyway,
Who
big
spells
eyes,
hey like a white girl?
Small brains.
All right, big eyes, small brains, anime pocket RPG as already concluded. I wanted to bring this up because we talked about Big Eyes, Small Mouth 4th edition. Sadly, this one ran in.
Hold on.
Yes.
FDDNM. What do gay horses eat?
Hey.
You may continue, Augie.
Okay, so technically this one is done. They received their funding. I'm surprised they were able to get away with this type of name. However,
why?
The other what?
Get away with the name? Why?
I think Big Eyes Small is more of a concern than brains.
Yeah, seriously.
Anyway, I gave AC 2 other links if you're interested.
They're to PDFs though.
One's a PDF, one should be for the book.
I mean, I assume the book is a PDF, but
no, the book should be a book. It should be
I'm saying the PDF should be a book. Store Envy. Yeah.
Once I heard you can pre-order it, I pre-ordered this. So if you're interested in a different variant of anime RPG tabletop,
I'm curious if anybody in the audience actually is interested in this at all. I'm just curious. I'm not saying you can't bring it up or talk about it. People who watch the podcast who might not be the ones who watch it live might be into it. I'm not saying that they aren't. I'm just curious if anybody actually, because you're the only one I know who even cares about these. Just saying, And okay. I mean, I don't mean to say like don't bring it up. Nobody cares. Like that's not what I'm trying to say at all. I'm just curious if anybody actually does these, because when you have to have like a group of friends come over to do like these sort of role-playing things. And I just I'm at the age where, I also moved out of the state where all my friends lived. So it's just not something that I do, but
it is
I'm curious people in the audience.
It's a small niche of people who either enjoy it or it's some interesting facet for people to find out or just kind of know about. Then again, I can say the same for the documentary that we just looked at as well.
That's very true. So, FDDNM, I want you to tell me about this.
As far as I know, they're funding some specials or whatever for the anniversary or something.
Memorial miniseries.
I guess so. I'm just going to call them specials, but Yeah, otherwise it's a campfire, and as I was asking you, can outside of Japan people back it? But I'm probably gonna bank on them including it in the what is the new Digimon movie called? Digimon, is it Last something or other?
So they're already at 156%.
Yeah.
So that means they're making it, whatever this is. So yeah, they'll probably try to include it.
I'm stoked that it's happening, but I don't know if we'd get it over here.
Eventually
on
we
its own.
will. I'm sure that eventually we will, especially with the modern. These days, with the exception of maybe Funimation, companies work. They care. They care enough to try. So I think that eventually we'd get this.
I think so too. It's just like Cross Wars or Digimon Fusion season 3 still hasn't gotten dubbed yet. Seasons 1 and 2 have.
Yeah. I'm sad by that because that one's pretty good. It's better than the train.
One I hear is like the worst Digimon out there, but like literally the last episode is what I want it for, because spoiler.
Wow, I could totally make Ty's shirt, although I don't know that that's even worth doing.
It's literally just a star because you'd
I
have
know.
to sell the other jacket with it.
I wouldn't have to. But yeah, I don't think it would be worth.
Last
I could do this
Evolution.
one. Oh no, I can't make that. That would cost me a lot of money to make, actually. Because
I like how the art style doesn't look like that one guy, Suritama character designer who did Try, because that feels like a different identity, or I guess you could say.
Yeah, this feels very authentic to
the original Digimon
to the original
franchise.
Is this Sora?
Yeah,
that's
without
Sora.
her hat on.
Yeah, I don't recognize her without her hat.
Okay, so Joe with khakis I can buy. Izzy in a business suit, that's a laugh. He should be in rags. But Matt in skinny jeans, that one's
well, he's in a band, remember?
I know he's in a band, but skinny jeans should be in short.
Yeah, hipster.
All right, Crunchyroll Expo news.
Crunchyroll Expo.
They're going to host the premiere of Keiichi Hara's The Wonderland anime film, which is also called Birthday Wonderland. And the character designs are from Ilya Kushinov. So Ilya is getting even more work, it seems.
Oh, is that the
which great.
Ghost in the Shell person?
Yes.
All right.
So Keiichi Hara is the director of Colorful, the movie. He also directed something else. Miss Hokusai was the other thing he directed recently.
Okay.
So I saw Colorful, and I thought it was total shit. So I'm not really aching to see this, but if Mr. Nice Guy has tickets to Crunchyroll Expo, I'll go. Also, didn't I say To Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life is going to also be premiering there. So there you have it. Continuing. Netflix's Cowboy Bebop series casts Elena Satine as Julia. I don't know who this is. I don't know what Strange Angel is. She looks about as much like Julia as John Cho looks like Spike.
Wait,
so
didn't Funimation release Strange Angel?
Strange Angel is like a live action.
Yeah, Funimation's released some live action stuff for some
I
reason.
very much doubt it. I very much doubt that.
I've seen CBS. I take that back.
Anyway. All right, continuing. Netflix Resident Evil movie will, quote, get back to the roots of the game. So basically, well, I'll just read what he said.
I hate when people refer to the roots of Resident Evil when they had like very limited hardware at the time. So it was like a very terrible representation of their quote vision.
So they're going to have a cheesy movie?
What they mean is that it's going to go back to being a horror movie instead of an action movie.
Okay. How
Yeah,
come Jill's
I'm not
posed
gonna
like that? She looks more like.
Oh my God! They just pick an image for the Sankaku Complex articles. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Hellgirl live action film reveals more cast visuals and costume. This one's for you, Danny. I know you're probably not watching right now, but shout out to Danny. So I gotta say, first of all, this girl doesn't look full Japanese to me. Does she come across as like a half breed to you guys? Doesn't she look?
That's a nice way to put it, half breed.
Yeah. Just
What's the Japanese literally have a term for like half Japanese? It's kind of I don't know if it is, but it comes across to me as derogatory, because they're like kind of elitists to their own race. But so here's the thing. The thing about her is that she looks way too fucking old. Doesn't she look like an adult pretending to be a schoolgirl?
I'm seeing this at like 480p, but she does
you've
look
already
like
crossed this line, AC, but it's kind of hard to tell because she is Asian.
No, it's not hard to tell because the body proportions are what we're looking at.
Are you referring to the white Asian thing, or are you referring to the looking old?
Looking old is that?
No, I'm asking Augie.
I'm answering for Augie.
No, let Augie answer.
No, that's not how my opinion would work, AC. Because of how clear the skin is, and well, I don't really see.
No, Augie, I'm saying, are you saying because she's Asian, it's hard to tell if she's old, or it's hard to tell if she's white or Asian?
It's how Asian she's old because she is Asian descent.
So Asians.
It's funny how that's exactly what I just said.
Okay, I'm just confirming.
No, Augie just gave me crap about speaking for him and then restated the exact thing I just said when I was clarifying what he said.
Okay.
I gave you crap for that. I'm clarifying that.
All right. Anyway, so
Jesus
also
Christ, the old man looks like his eyes is about to pop out like zits.
Okay, I think we're going back to our roots here in talking about every single appearance in extreme detail.
I was going to say, it's coming out on my birthday.
Hooray!
I was going to say that I should just mute you guys through half the articles. All right, so anyway, continuing here. Netflix adds Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, The Battle of Unato, to their streaming service on September 13th. Now, Reese had pointed out in the comments when he posted this in the podcast doc, he said that previously it was interesting because previously it was on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
they say here the anime previously debuted on Netflix and Amazon Prime Video in Japan. So perhaps because of in Japan it already had it was already on Netflix over there. Maybe it was a little bit less of a bridge to coming out over here,
Okay.
On our Netflix. So anyway, by the way, here's Lindsay Loveridge and Zach Birchie as Sailor Scouts,
But quickly, Lance says, I really like tabletop games. My favorite game is Munchkin. I just picked up I Am Not a Bad Slime t-shirt. Take it from me, being in a band does not make you want to wear skinny jeans. And Versus Seed says
Mudbloods, referring to the half-breed thing. So Konosuba film showings offer shirts, mugs, and your own chomusuke. So I'm sharing this because check out this fucking mug.
Sweet.
I like the sample on it.
Crunchyroll really loves selling as much merch as possible for this show.
Crunchyroll is not selling anything. This is if you go to the screenings in Japan, you can get these.
Aw.
Well, Crunchyroll does have a store that they sell a bunch of merch on.
Yeah, but they're not selling that stuff.
Damn.
Okay, so Weathering with You crosses the 10 billion yen mark in 34 days. There have only been 2 Japanese directors or animation directors who have films that have earned more than 10 billion yen in Japanese cinema history. Hayao Miyazaki, who has Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, Princess Mononoke, Ponyo, and The Wind Rises, and Shinkai, who has Your Name and now Wuthering with You. Thought that was interesting. And apparently I opened that twice. No, I accidentally put it in 2 different places. It's funny because I actually had it in 3 different places previously and removed one of them. Anyway, all right. So Studio Car will now be using Blender. I'm not going to bore you guys with more of that, but there was
Is that an upgrade or a downgrade?
You weren't here last podcast, actually, huh?
No.
Yeah, this is so they're using it because the licensing cost for 3ds Max is like $60,000 a year for the whole studio.
Holy hell.
Because it's like $2,400 per person. So this is something new.
They don't get like an overall company license?
Nope.
Wow.
And every single artist I know that uses it pirates it because of the cost is so high. 3ds Max Autodesk makes all their money off of Hollywood studios who have to get like
infinite budgets.
Yeah. They get hundreds of licenses. So anyway, they said there are currently some areas where Blender cannot take care of our needs, but we can solve it with the combination with Unity.
Ooh.
Unity is usually enough to cover 3ds Max and Maya as well. Unity can be a bridge among environments.
I assume they use Unity.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I was going to say, are they not going to use Unreal Engine because, that has some fees after you actually make something? Well, the thing... Unreal Engine 4, Unreal Engine, I don't know if they were at the flagship of this movement, but it was like, here, you can use it as much as you want, however you want. But if you go commercial, then we're going to charge you a fee or whatever.
I was going to ask if that's what you meant. So the thing about Unity is a rendering engine, and it seems like that's not going to change shit. That's so dumb. Blender usually has an insane, probably of all the 3D programs, it probably has the best anime rendering engine of all of them.
It has a lot of features that are really good.
It looks fucking great compared to the other ones. The ability to change face normals and everything to look like anime instead of a regular 3D model, like how it looks in the first or second, technically, Appleseed movie, the first 3D Appleseed movie. It's so much better than what most of the other ones have. Unity is this seems like I have the director of board, Hiroyasu Kobayashi, doesn't seem to know what he's talking about. This seems very dumb because what you're doing is you're just exporting your animation into Unity, and it just seems like you could literally have done that with anything. And this was in regards to the fact that that they're concerned that if they're trying to work with other companies, that they're not going to be able to work with other companies that aren't using Blender yet, that are still using 3ds Max or whatever. So this seems like the dumbest thing I've heard. But anyway, continuing.
Put the camera to me real quick. JT Master, I hope you're proud of me. I'm going to try it out. All right, now back to you.
All right. 3 more cast members run wild in African office worker TV anime. So I just say I really hope that this show is good because I've been hyping it up quite a bit. If it sucks, I'm sorry for that. Also, new Thus Spoke Kishibe Rohan OVA episodes to be released in December.
Which part is Rohan from?
4.
Augie? 4? Yeah. So this is a reference to Friedrich Nietzsche's Thus Spoke
So this only mildly worries me.
There we go.
Because part 4, we got part 1 out so far. So hopefully set 2 is delayed enough that we can get this on it. Otherwise, I don't think we're actually going to get it over here.
Okay.
Time next May happens, we will get
these. Hold up. These are one-shot mangas that Hirohiko Araki releases. So
it's told out of order episode-wise.
The Thus Spoke Kishibe Rohan one-shot chapters are catnip in between major arcs of the manga, and with the series concluding its last major arc a few weeks ago, it was only a matter of time before more Rohan OVAs were announced. The latest Rohan chapters to get animated will be episode 16, At a Confessional, and episode 10, The Run. The OVA episodes will be screened across Tokyo, Nagoya, Osaka, Hiroshima, Sendai, and Omiya. with Rohan voice actor Takahiro Sakurai attending the screenings and appearing on stage with the screening starting on December 8th. Blah, 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 blah. So the thing is that if they release this, it would probably be best if it was its own set. Is what I'm trying to get at. Because because these are all one-shot chapters that he includes. So
if they're going to be full length, I guess they could.
Well, because if they're already on episode 16 at least, I mean, I know they're doing them out of order and obviously not, but if they were to get all the way to a full, they would have like a full set worth of things that they could put on a Blu-ray or whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, it could be its own thing, is what I'm saying. Also, brace yourself for real-world renderings of Sazae-san. So this is the longest-running anime, and
looks like claymation.
Some insane person. I think these are life-size. Some insane person made this, and it's scary as shit.
The more I look at it, the more it looks like Lazy Town.
Well, anyway, moving on. Got some manga news here.
Ooh. What you got?
Oh yeah,
Sailor Mercury. You should definitely watch JoJo. First season is okay. Second season is amazing, and it keeps getting more ridiculous. So anyway, Berserk creator begins a new legend with Duranki. Pardon. So Kentaro Miura is producing a new series. I don't believe I think he just worked on the story, though. Although the art style...
I was going to say, the art looks kind of like his style.
It does look like his style, but from what it said in here, Kentaro Miura, the creator of the long-running manga turned anime Berserk, is preparing to debut a brand new story. The upcoming Duranki comes to us from Miura's studio Gaga. Miura himself conceived of the story and is listed as a, quote, producer on the project. The manga will star Uzmugar, a child granted the name of a dragon, and teases a story placed between heaven and earth with a character who is neither god nor human. Readers will treat it tombstones on the back, 26 more pages. Berserk.
Well, if he's the writer, I wonder how much betrayal and rape will be in this one.
Well, the thing is, obviously, that any time that gets taken away from Berserk is... I mean, it seems like he doesn't want to continue Berserk. Like he's getting burnt out on it, you know?
Yeah, the way that he puts out a chapter every blue moon or whatever.
Well, it's a victim of its own success because he's made so much money off of Berserk that he could just fuck off for a while and do whatever he wants, you know?
I mean, it's a long time to continue a masterpiece like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he's the George R.R. Martin of Japan. All right, Rising of the Shield Hero gets fired up in a cooking manga spinoff.
Hooray! You say hooray, but this is like a second type of silliness next to an SD chibi series or a super deformed series.
All right, continuing games. All right, Cinderella 9 mobile game membership quadruples thanks to the anime. So we talked about this, I think, last podcast about the wall art made out of dirt.
Yes,
and I kind of talked about how that is the kind of thing where as soon as you see it, you know that you're not going to forget it, like because it's so unique and so like the artistry behind that wall art was so intense that it really catches you. And it's interesting to see the game in the wake of the anime adaptation. The user base is quadrupled. Additionally, the primarily male fan base has spread out to include more female players. At one point, the game even made it to number 25 in the App Store in Japan. So, kind of cool to see that. I mean, I don't know anything about the game or the show, but
it's about baseball.
For it, obviously. Monster Rancher, the original one, is coming to Nintendo Switch.
Monsters rule.
This was shared by Reese, I think, but I'm going to go through this article because they sort of updated it. So the game is also going to release for Android and iOS. The game is 70% complete already and will include some new elements not seen before, which I wouldn't hold my breath on that being anything good. Players can generate monsters in the game by cycling through CD names in a custom database over a network. So I'll just say that the entire thing that made this game fun was that you had to have the CDs to go through. My brother and I used to spend weeks playing this game at a time, where we went through my mom's entire CD collection, we would burn CDs with music that we downloaded to try to get the same track listing of like Backstreet Boys CDs we didn't buy, in order to see if we could get the data to give us the same thing, which obviously wouldn't work when it needs to have the same exact like the seed going into the bit, the exact bit information wouldn't spit out the same thing, because when you rip the CD, like, you're not getting the exact file, you're getting the MP3 version of the file or whatever, you know what I mean? Anyway, so but we did a lot to try to see what we could get. It was a lot of fun.
So wait, how does that game work? You put a CD in and it analyzes the music and generates a monster?
In the original one, you would because have you ever seen the show?
Nope.
Okay, so they
I will on SD Blu-ray soon.
Yeah. So in the game, you collect discs, like disc fragments, and you put them together, and the disc has like a monster embedded into it that you load in the and when I say disc, I mean like an ancient, like Babylonian, like carved disc, not like a CD disc, right?
Okay.
But the disc would have a monster in it that you could awaken in the town square or whatever, like at a monster something or other place. And what you would do is you would go to this location, and you would tell it that you want to put like a real world disc in, basically, and it would tell you to pop open the PlayStation, take out the Monster Rancher disc, and put in a different disc, right? Mm-hmm. So you could put in PlayStation games, you could put in CDs. In the later installments of the game, you could put in DVDs, because they got to like the PlayStation 2, right? And I thought about doing a Twitch stream of this game and just streaming it and going through the anime collection and seeing what we got, but I don't know that would actually be something people would watch. But yeah, so that's how the game's played. And I'll just say that it's not really I don't especially for the iOS one, I just don't see this that's literally the game itself is so bare. The actual game.
So
yes,
on iOS, wouldn't they just like pick an MP3 from your music library or something?
I think that would be better. To go, like, if you're playing on the iOS one, right? Just go into your iTunes app and click on a song and have it do it that way. I think that would be much better, because it would be more randomized, it would be much more unique.
Yeah, go through a database.
Database, the question asked here is what database is it? Well, the database here is what the question here is what database is it? A bunch of Japanese CDs? Is it going to port well? Like, it's just they're worried about it. So anyway,
browse the Apple Store correctly. But to better explain it to FDDNM about the show premise, just watch the English opening. It explains the premise quite well.
Well, I think I get the premise already.
Yeah.
And monsters rule.
Okay.
Monster
Rancher.
September 3rd.
September 3rd. Moving on. PlayStation 5 prototype design allegedly leaked. So
looks like a
this
toilet.
is what the PlayStation 5 might look like. People are saying
the dev kit, I think.
Kit. That's what they're saying. Or maybe even the console itself. I don't know. I don't care.
Dev kits usually look relatively similar.
I bet I can pour plastic in it and get a bicycle seat mold out of it.
Okay. Evangelion's bizarre handheld pet simulator you never knew about. So apparently on the Wonder Swan, they had a game where you played as what's his name? Kaji?
Ryoji
Kaji. That's his name. Anyway, so I didn't really read this article, but apparently you like Tamagotchi yourself a little angel.
But
And yeah, I don't know. I just thought this was interesting, and I didn't have time to read it. So
the Wonder Swan is just a unique piece of handheld. That's a piece of video game history.
All right. So first of all, I'm gonna click over here and double check that Right Stuff. Fuck, damn it. There we go. Just in time. Make sure that Right Stuff didn't turn off hide all adult. It did. Although there isn't any adult stuff here, so that's okay.
Wah, wah.
That's all right. I just love how Blu-ray and DVD stays clicked on, but hide all adult doesn't stay on. All right, so back here. So these are Japanese release news I'm going to give you real quick, but freaking hell. Code Geass, or pardon, Gate, set for December 5th. This is for the Japanese release, but I'm just letting you know that we're like, another step closer to getting it over here.
Yeah.
And Sunrise's vintage robot anime Daitarn 3 gets its first Blu-ray box. but is it as good as Voltus 5? Probably not.
Or
and if
Daikon.
it's Daitarn 3, why are there 4 robot things that make up the robot?
I think those are different forms it can take.
No, there's 4 people here.
We see 4 people. Obviously, the kid's just there to stir up trouble.
And once again, we've got a nice comparison here where they intentionally make the SD look worse.
Well, good news is since they did the quote unquote upscaling, it might be easier for companies like this, a la Discotech or.
Well, I'm sure Discotech will get it.
If Shout Factory's still interested,
I'm not sure that this is an upscale either. This might be a rescan.
Yeah, because it's like 1990 something or other, right? Or even 80.
90. That looks 70s is all get out.
70,
it's that old?
Late 70s. Yeah, 77 to 78.
You can even tell some of the guy
Wait a minute.
Gunner Man.
Following the 23 episode Muteki Chojin Zambot 3 Invincible Superman Zambot 3 from October 1977 to March 78, Daitarn 3 was aired for 40 episodes from 78 to 79.
Wait, Daitarn. I thought you were saying Daikon.
No, Daitarn.
Yeah, I thought he said Daitarn.
Daitarn. So a little Japanese language schooling here. This dash in katakana implies, like here, it's easier to see here. Da, I, ta, and then the dash. When it's translated, that almost always becomes an R. Like,
what does the word mean?
I'm sure it's a made-up word. Dai means like big. Like,
wait.
Dai no Daiboken means Dai's Great Adventure. That's the Monster. No, Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest. That's what it's called. Dragon Quest anime. Anyway, so continuing here. Reese shared this and said that my concerns are clearly going to be okay. My concern is that this is going to look weird. I don't think it doesn't look as bad as it could.
It is so minimal, Brad.
It is, but for some reason it looks so like it stands out. So my eyes go straight to it in this picture. The stupid thing. Look, it's a bad framing job of Funimation, and it's worse on the actually no, it is worse on this one. But because the angle of him is tilted, right? And they've got the black and the white harsh it goes straight to the fucking corner and draws my eyes straight to it.
Through these I think we already talked about this, but through these steelbook releases of Yu Yu Hakusho, I wonder if they're going, when they reach the OVA movies, I wonder if they're going to release the anniversary OVA.
Well, I'd assume they would because there's no point
pressured them for it, but Funimation can eat a dick because they don't ever talk to their anime collecting fans.
Last I heard, I thought Pony Canyon USA owned the right to that.
To what?
That anniversary.
Wasn't that
OVA.
just the Blu-ray, or sorry, the laser disc? Sorry, vinyl. My goodness,
it could have just been the vinyl.
Because why would Pony Canyon have the? Definitely not US.
So
have one episode.
There's nothing new here, but FDDNM, you weren't here last podcast, so
yeah, obviously the Haikyuu season 3 premium edition took long enough. It's only 10 episodes, so it should be cheaper than the others.
It's not.
It's not.
It's $100.
It's that popular.
Well, I don't know what the USD conversion for you guys is.
I mean, I know that fucking Sentai is gonna have a sale where it's gonna be dirt cheap in a couple months.
And you know what sucks? Season 4 was just announced as well to make things even better. So I have to further dub wait. And so let's see.
So it's Food Wars all over again.
I'm glad we have Hidamari's. Well, at least this is consistent looking. Hidamari's sketch. I'm glad I didn't buy any on the Sentai sale. I was always like, that seems like a lot. Even on sale, that takes up a big chunk.
Well, I'm kind of glad that stuff is happening like this because I already have the whole show on DVD, and it's nice to be able to get a Blu-ray that has everything.
Like in just one box.
Yeah.
I like that I can get that.
I am starting to wish I had bought Blu-rays instead of DVDs for a long time. Now that I've got a Blu-ray player and a TV that actually is worth.
That's ironic since I just listened to the podcast you were on where you're like, yeah, I prefer a DVD.
Dude,
yeah, now I wish that had
so
way long ago.
God, so long ago. That was I think that was right after we had Simply G on the podcast. That we recorded that.
That's quite a long time ago, yeah. So my teen romantic comedy Snafu. Oh yes, Daddy's happy. We get that dub on there, and it's seasons 1 and 2. I'm upset that I have to rebuy it, but hey, I'm happy to rebuy it as well. And then we have One Piece episodes of Skypiea. Glad that I can get more One Piece Blu-ray, even though I'm pretty sure it's basically just a reanimation condensed version.
It's probably the same like the Tony Chopper special.
Tony Chopper special. I feel like that's movie 9.
Yeah, where somehow Frankie and Robin were there, and Wample has his brother with him.
Either way, I'm planning to get those movies.
What happens?
Steelbook season 2 is self-explanatory. Yay, cool, awesome.
Yeah, I'm just opening these so we can go through them one at a time.
Okay.
For you to give your talking points. I think we're about caught up, right?
Okay, let's speed run this.
Okay, let's go through it.
Right now, I see nothing. Cool.
Done that. Episode, season 3.
Okay.
So it's gone orange. It's gone black, orange, black, and the raven or whatever thing is now
purple
taking flight or whatever. I wonder what the next motif is going to be.
So
next.
we figured out that the reason for this is because the team that they go up against is wearing a purple uniform in this season.
The reason for what?
The reason for the purple is because the team that they're up against
Where
in
is
this
the purple?
season,
the Raven.
The Raven is purple on this.
It's set. Orange.
What?
Are you insane?
That's on a different angle. Wait, hold on. My screen oranger is on as well. That doesn't help. Okay. Oh my god, now everything looks way too white. Honestly, I'm just going to give up on trying to attempt to see that.
All right, enough. Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this Essentials that came out so fucking fast after the thing was announced?
Yeah.
And what do you think about this goddamn ugly thing that they left on it for this picture? It's so bad.
They tried to age the Essentials.
Yep.
Oh, and I love how it's on, like, the band is underneath the layer with the aging.
Yeah.
I love how we were so, like, impressed with them until they put that on.
Hold on, can you scroll over the different tabs?
Season 1, 365.
Okay, what's wrong?
Hoshimitsu specials, Honeycomb. What?
They should be able to fit it on 9 discs, I guess, which would fit in one case of 24 mm.
By the way, when I was out of the room, I heard you talking about Galaxy Angel A.
Yes.
And the AirPods kept cutting out, but just to clarify on that, when it was released over here, they split it into 2 sets.
Well, yeah, because it's like 2 different lengths. Or sorry, it's like it's an appropriate amount.
You said how many episodes were on it?
It says 26, but they're all half length as far as I know, so 350 minutes.
Yes. So to answer your question, that is just A, because double A has all the way up to 52.
Oh, never mind.
Boom. All right.
I was a half right.
Half right
All
is
right.
called being wrong.
Onward. Onward. We're speed running this really
Yes.
slow.
You already
Already
basically
said.
did this one. Skipping.
Yeah, snafu.
So I wanted to announce that I realized this.
Oh, this
when I was
isn't
reading-
essentials.
Yes, I was just gonna say that I don't know why every single time I read Junie Tyson, I always I have like a double take in my head because of the title, and I realized why is because Junie is 12. That's why it's Junie Koku
Okay.
for 12 Kingdoms, right? And so I guess Junie, the number 12 is enough to be considered zodiac, right?
Well,
Anyway.
I think there's also something else that's just.
Is it a longer title and that's like the shortened form?
I don't know. I feel like there is another series that uses Zodiac or Junie Tyson or something in it. But
Well,
anyway,
there's Sakura Tyson, which is Sakura War.
right. I got that one.
Anyway,
Already said.
all right, closing.
Cool. I can buy one whole box instead of two. Next.
The most uninspired artwork.
I thought
ever.
this was She and Her Cat, the TV series, so I have even fewer expectations than I thought I had for this. Next.
Okay.
Cool. I don't have to buy two boxes. Next.
Essentials.
Yep.
Finally,
That's a
pre-order
standard
for
edition
the standard
that they finally
edition.
came out.
Red, white,
Yeah.
and blue.
French anime.
I've French that is not anywhere near as potentially good as I thought from episode one.
Essentials. Okay, here's the.
Cool, awesome, cool. That's new artwork, I think, exclusively for the
Yeah, we talked about
Steelbooks.
that. They made it specifically.
Cancer edition.
By the way, the artwork on the Attack on Titan season 3 box is exclusive to the American box too. They made it specifically for it.
Are you talking about like the crests and stuff on it?
No.
or-
On the other side of it, I think behind the little slip of paper, or the or it's inside. I don't know. They talked about it on the show. A nice package or whatever. Anyway, so this is a square. Who cares? Oh, I almost closed StreamYard because stupid
Don't
mouse.
close
My mouse gets.
Yard. We finally got rid of the dog.
Cool, season 2, part 2. I'm gonna wait for the complete version. Yeah, cool. I don't
Here's
have
what
to
we had
pay
to
$1
say
billion.
about this. This is what we had to say about this last podcast. Is that, yay, Blu-ray, Mononoke, DVD.
Yeah. Actually, I think I might have been here for that. Harakana Receive, another thing that I mixed up with Hane Bado.
Very similar, just one's about Badcock.
I'll have to buy all three just so I don't get confused.
Something about this guy makes me feel like Mowgli
Kylo Ren.
from the Lion King was
What?
the Jungle Book. Thank you. Was thrown into outer space in like some
Thank-
fishnet outfit that looks like he's ripping off Spider-Man.
Same creator of Kamen Rider and Cyborg 009 made this. And Discotheque previously
There's
released.
like a little tiny like ship
Tower
like air
station.
traffic control tower type thing, where this
I
is
think
such
the
a
movie
ugly
was
shape.
also re-released in the Pop Culture Bento box released by Mill Creek.
I'm curious if Mill Creek actually had the rights to any. Maybe these are public domain or something.
Yeah, who knows? It might be one of those weird, it's public domain, but Toei isn't paying attention right now.
This sucks because I want a season 2 that is cheapo, but I have to get season 1 again if I want it like this. So season 2 on its own is probably going to be slightly cheaper. And I'll have to bite the bullet at some point. Next.
Very fun show. Very fun.
Food porn to another world. That'll be interesting to watch. And once again, I want season 2, but I can't. So I'll get the regular season 2.
All right. Okay. So I have to find out which one of my AirPods is dying right now.
Again.
Yeah. They've had a good run. Okay, it's the right one. Okay. The password is Mokori at upcoming City Hunter event. So basically, in Japan, if you pre-order this by going into the store to pre-order it and you use the password Mokori, you get one of these bromides of Kaori and Umibozu. And if you want one of Rio, they're going to have on October 29th, they're going to have a fan shrine set up for him. And that's the only way to get it. So probably we'll get all of these or none of these in the US release, but they're bromides. Who gives a shit, right?
What's a bromide?
It's like those, I think it's like an art card, right?
Okay.
It's a pair of large-sized bromides. Compound of bromine with another element or group, especially a salt containing.
I like how it's describing a pigeon in the sidebar there.
Literally uses means phrase or cliche or platitude that is trite or unoriginal. It can be intended to soothe.
You get a compressed piece of pigeon carcass in your Blu-ray.
I'm pretty sure it's like an art card that's like the sort of somewhat thick, like a credit card type thing, you know, like a pencil board or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea what it is. I'm just guessing. Follow the footsteps of Passione on official JoJo's Italy tour. So I guess they did this with Banana Fish, right? So they're doing a tour of Italy where you start in Japan, you go to Naples and stops in Pompeii, Rome, and Venice, and they've got you basically tour all the places they go to in Golden Wind.
I bet Rocky will join the tour as well.
So Yusha Raiden or Brave Raiden figure here, which is fucking enormous.
That's a good thing.
Oh, is that the vinyl one?
The soft vinyl, yeah.
You can make a guitar out of that.
Oh, okay, God, so not the Godzilla guitar over again.
A Swedish robotics company teams up with Bandai to build an anime girl. So anime has its share of cute robot girls, but Sweden's Fur Hat Robotics and Bandai Namco are no longer content to leave the concept as a fantasy. Together, they're creating a robotic anime girl, or her head anyway. Fur Hat Robotics is known for its development of robotic heads with rear projected faces. Okay, so I guess they're projecting it from the inside, onto the back of the plastic, which is semi-transparent, so you can kind of see through it, allowing for more realistic expression. These social robots are already being used to help international travelers conduct unbiased job interviews and pre-screen patients for deadly diseases. Wow, that's a very diverse use of these things. With interchangeable custom face plates and easier to read expressions, Fur Hat's technology seems pretty prime for depicting our favorite characters. See,
kind of find it funny that since it's a Swedish device, they use red hair for the first prototype. Because when they do,
I don't know, it matches that thing down there.
Yeah, it matches, but when you say Swedish. Well, you say Swedish and red hair comes up. The first thing I think of is the damn Swedish chef from the Muppets. Yeah, well, okay. That's an interesting use for this device. For interviews, I'd rather that be personable. That way you can I think
that would just make you look like a complete weirdo. For some reason,
Crunchyroll embeds these things in a way where you can't full screen them.
Why I'd rather it be an in-person for interviews is so you can have others give a better quote-unquote judge of character while they're in the room.
You guys can't hear that, correct?
I can't hear that.
I cannot.
So this is what it looks like.
At 2 frames a second.
Yep. Just like anime.
I think the eyes are too high on the head.
Oh, it's creepy as shit, dude.
It looks
They
like
said
being lazily projected on a still.
the new project's proof of concept features Mirai Komachi, a Vocaloid persona created by Bandai Namco and released for the Vocaloid 4 engine in May of last year. Bandai Namco's creative design department manager Shohei Nakanowatari, that's quite a mouthful, was apparently blown away by how well the mascot transferred from art to robotics. You guys and your inability.
Literally
I'm calling you
anyone.
out, Kara Dennison. Yeah.
Well, everyone
ever
can
make a
apply to
mistake.
this, right? To be this position.
Say what?
Because they're hiring the news crew or whatever on here.
No.
Crunchyroll.
Hold on, stop.
Oh yeah.
Go down.
Augie, have you applied?
I have not. I need to get some other stuff settled. Okay, and the YouTube, you have like these three screens right here. I find it funny that that points out the SNL clip of.
Could be based on the recommended
nothing
Brad.
to do with the
Jeopardy.
podcast.
I know.
Both companies are hopeful this technology will lead to more inventive applications in the future. Given the applicants of Fur Hat's social robot so far, it's an intriguing idea. In the near future, you might buy tickets to your favorite anime film with the help of one of the characters, or get directions around a theme park for one of its mascots. Or you could just look at your fucking phone and have like a VTuber type thing. Do it. You don't need this goddamn abomination with a rear projected face on this little speaker.
So how does it work?
Alexa.
Do you both have to have one of these units to be compatible for a call like
Just
this?
imagine you're like, this is like it's like an attachment to your Amazon Alexa or whatever.
It replaces the Lolita doll enthusiasts. They carry this thing around now, trying to talk to people.
This is like in the next Star Wars movie, instead of R2-D2, it's one of these.
The face kind of reminds me, like how it's rear projected, kind of reminds me of iRobot with Will Smith.
Yeah, it looks terrible. And I the thing about anime in 3D is the nose always looks disastrous. Well, like in anime, it's the nose is always this subtle little line that dances around depending on the direction the character's facing, right? But when it's 3D, it's like this giant, disgusting, like bulbous point in the middle of it that's really obvious. Continuing. Piranha Ramen is now a thing, and it's coming to Japan for a limited time.
Ooh, munchy.
So I don't know. Maybe it's just Fire Belly Pocket, but I don't know. So dubbed the world's first, this terrifying noodle dish is made with 100% piranha broth. So immediately takes the wind out of your sails there. So back on the 1st of April, Japanese event creators Holiday Jack sent out a press release announcing it would be creating the world's first ever piranha ramen. Sadly, the news turned out to be an April Fool's Day prank, but noodle lovers around the country went crazy for the idea, responding with sadness and even anger that they weren't going to be able to get their jaws around a toothy piranha. The response sent the Holiday Jack team into overdrive as they attempted to win back the favor of ramen fans by finding a way to actually make this ramen dish a reality. So they went off and ordered a shipment of edible piranha from the Amazon River in South America.
Edible piranha.
So, yeah, let me ask you, what makes the piranha edible versus inedible? I mean, do they mean that like they ordered piranha?
They cut out the poison sacs.
Sure, the piranha did not eat human flesh. If it didn't eat human flesh, you can eat it. If you,
I imagine that the reason they had to say this is that they weren't ordering live fish that were for like fish tanks or whatever. I don't know.
That's another one.
From the Amazon River in South America, and when it arrived in Japan, the scale of the 300 kilogram. By the way, piranha in Minecraft and when it arrived in Japan,
added bees.
They did add bees, and they're enormous.
Wait, they're enormous?
They're enormous. They're like a
see.
quarter of a block size, right? So they're huge. Anyway, when it arrived in Japan, the scale of the 300 kilogram 2,000 piranha delivery came as a surprise to even customs officials at the airport. As the largest delivery of edible piranha in Japan, I mean, if you have a thing called edible piranha, that means that people are already eating piranha, right? In Japan. Anyway, this shipment marks a landmark moment in the history of the country's rare cuisine. Why? Because it's going to be used to create piranha ramen, in what Holiday Jack is calling a Japan first, if not a world first, for the ramen industry. World's first piranha ramen, right? So while we've tasted piranha before, We've never had it in a bowl of noodles, and certainly never as a ramen broth. But this is exactly what's going to be offered on the menu. So that answers my question about if they eat it and all that, why it's edible and all that. Not only will the piranha ramen come with the option of being served with a large whole piranha, which I guess is what this is. It will also contain a broth made from 100% piranha. No, I'm sure the broth is at least 99% water. but I get what you're saying. Can you imagine? They just grind it into fish paste. Here's your broth. The world's first 100% piranha broth is said to be a perfect partner for ramen noodles. But if you want to get a taste of the rare dish, you have to get in quick, as only 1,000 bowls will be made available over 4 days this September. The exclusive ramen will be served up to only 100 customers on day one of the event, with 300 servings available on each of the remaining days. And if eating a fearsome predator fish with sharp teeth isn't enough of a walk on the wild side for you, you'll be happy to know that it's being served up at the recently opened Ninja Cafe and Bar in Tokyo's busy Asakusa tourist district. Okay. These guys definitely don't look inauthentic at all.
Do they have ninja info cards?
I'm pretty sure they just have the kanji for ninja on their head, which I think is very funny.
Like a Godfrey Ho movie.
That means you can follow your piranha meal with a shuriken ninja throwing star experience. In fact, there's a whole array of ninja activities on offer at the Ninja Cafe and Bar, but if you want to try their piranha ramen, it will only be available for 4 days. Yeah, we already know that. The piranha ramen with 100% piranha broth will retail for about $28 US, with a whole piranha topping available separately for an additional 2,500 yen, which is almost the same price. That means a complete set of noodles with a whole piranha will set you back 5,500 yen. But given that it's not every day we get to taste such a fearsome looking fish, the steep price might just be worth it. I gotta know what this is gonna link to. Holy God.
That doesn't look very appetizing.
Not at all.
Looks dry.
Jeez. No.
Might be good.
No. I feel like the scene in Alien where the thing bursts out of the guy's chest.
That's a lot of effort to put green beans on a fish. Just eat the green beans.
All right. Speaking of fish, strip club guidance booth raid in Japan ends with police seizing 440 pounds of raw fish.
I wonder what they're going to
do. What?
Keep going.
Investigators knew something fishy was going on in Nagasaki. The horny man in Japan is spoiled for choice when it comes to sexy entertainment. The bar districts of any major Japanese city are packed with hostess clubs, sensual massage parlors, cosplay strip shows, and all sorts of other ways to release that pent-up energy. Not a single link to another article in that paragraph. I'm impressed. As a matter of fact, there are so many choices that most bar districts now also sport a number of free guidance booths, or Murio Onigiri. No, Murio Onaijo, as they're called in Japanese, which I think is basically a concierge booth, set up with privacy-providing curtains or heavily frosted glass shielding the entrance. These welcome stations are happy to provide assistance in navigating the tantalizing titillation packages on offer and are free of charge to the customer. So I guess basically you just walk in there and tell the concierge how horny you are and what you want.
Oh, God.
So a free guidance booth in the Sega video game Judge Eyes. I'm pretty sure this is Judgment, right? That game that got... remember the game that got Pierre Taki removed or whatever?
Yeah.
Which faithfully recreates how they look in real life. So that's...
Recreates.
recreates how they look in real life. Yeah, it's funny that they would translate it as judge eyes. However, there's a cozy relationship between adult entertainment providers and organized crime syndicates. And the Nagasaki Prefectural Police recently raided a free guidance booth in Nagasaki City as part of their investigation against local Yakuza clan boss Akihiro Sakaue. Sure enough, detectives found a huge stash of illegal merchandise inside, roughly 200 kilos worth. So what was the contraband? Illegal drugs like crystal meth or cocaine, stolen jewels, sexied up modified anime figures. I'm gonna open that for later. Nope. The haul from the raid was approximately 200 kilograms of processed seafood, primarily frozen fish fillet. Silver gold? Okay. While this might seem like a disappointing turn of events, it's actually exactly what the cops were looking for. The case being built against the 51-year-old Sakaue. That's not what you said his name was that I had such a hard time pronouncing. You have another A in his name right here. Sakaue. You sons of bitches. 51-year-old Sakaue doesn't accuse him. The case being built against the 51-year-old Sakaue doesn't accuse him of masterminding a prostitution or sex trafficking ring, but of running a poaching operation, engaging in unlicensed commercial scale fishing and selling the catch to local restaurants. The Yakuza boss was arrested on August 14th, and investigators working the theory is that in addition to storing the product in the back of free guidance booth, Sakaue's underlings also cut up the catch there, begging the question of whether anyone who came in off the street looking for help picking a strip joint actually went to the recommended club or detected the smell of fish emanating from deeper inside and decided to seek guidance elsewhere. Meanwhile, the case is another reminder to us all that choosing a life of crime is a bad decision. Not only could you end up in jail, even if you stay one step ahead of the law, you might not have the exciting macho life shown in gangster flicks and just end up doing a lot of Photoshop and late night fishing. What? Why?
Are we sure that Yakuza is the correct word? Because it sounds kind of like poaching.
Sorry, Yakuza the right word? I mean, it's what?
I guess it's a crime organization, but this is more like a poaching scam.
Okay, what can you not be organized poachers?
Yeah.
Organized
so is poaching a crime?
Yeah.
Organized crime?
No, it's not poaching.
Organized poaching, yes. Is poaching a crime? Yes. Therefore, organized crime? No, it's not poaching. That's a direct transcript of what you just said.
I know.
All right,
Very
so
Star and Stingray Man.
So I'm pretty sure we've covered this article in the past, this specific one. I'm going to leave it open for a minute because we're going to cover something else soon.
Ooh, cleavage. That's not cleavage.
I just want to know what this says.
Guy holds up hand.
It says Japanese Twitter users agree that Yakuza members are more Photoshop savvy than the average Joe. All right, I'm going to read that while you guys go over. Oh no, the sea cucumbers. Okay, anyway.
Oh my God, the sea cucumbers. What those bastards do now.
All right, I just want to show these. Old Japanese photos show the awesome skill of soba delivery workers in the Showa era. So, yeah. Damn. I mean, I've seen some pretty impressive waitressing where they like bring out an entire stack of something that's maybe like this high, you know? But to ride a fucking bike while carrying all this?
Damn.
I mean, imagine like tripping with this. That's hot soup all over you.
Okay, that picture's making me think of shampoo from Ranma.
Anyway, moving on. Also, this one, this Japanese artist built a miniature ryokan room. It's like a hotel, small hotel room. So he built this. Let's see if there's a way to. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I remember going to a museum when I was younger, in like high school, and in the modern art exhibit. First of all, it's atrocious what passes for art in that exhibit. One of the exhibits was literally a fake vagina for a mouth and a giant dildo for a nose.
Oh God!
Painted. Yep, that was it. That was literally it. But there was a little tiny elevator built into the wall, and this is kind of reminiscent of that. This is really neat. Actually, now that I think about it, this is probably a fake wall in the installation. Damn, that's cool. You must be using a GoPro Hero 4.
There's Hero 5 and 6 now.
Yeah, but the Hero 4 is where they've made the little tiny black one. That's where it started, right?
5 is the Session.
Session, thank you. That's the one I'm talking about. The Hero 5 Session. The itty bitty one. Yeah. So the door opens apparently because he's at the top of the stairs now. That's nuts. This one's pretty cool too, actually. I'll do the YouTube one. It's bigger. It's pretty cool anyway. You can see him. This is like he's making it out of foam core and everything. That's so cool. Oh damn! He's got it engineered to even light up when you open it. That's so cool. I wish being an artist actually paid money. Because I could do this all day. That kind of stuff. All right. Man arrested for spraying Japan's public broadcasting fee collector with a fire extinguisher. So things just keep escalating with the Protect the Nation from the NHK party. They're like radicalizing the did it say how old he was? The elderly? I'm gonna anyway. So that's one way to end a heated conversation. Great pun, Master Blaster. So this has been a pretty good year for the Protect the Nation from the NHK party. Following impassioned campaign speeches, a recent election win has snagged them their first ever seat in the national diet, through which they can continue to push their agenda of ending the heavy-handed fee collection tactics of Japan's public broadcaster NHK. It has also thrust the party into the mainstream media. It has also thrust the party into the mainstream media spotlight, and even earned them an shorthand. Great job, guys. Earned them the shorthand name in the press of N-Koku, N-Country. Remember, I was just talking about Juni Koku, 12 Kingdoms, country, kingdom. Anyway, this should all come as good news for an unidentified 34-year-old Vietnamese man who was arrested on the 17th of August for assaulting an NHK collector with a fire extinguisher. The incident took place on the 15th of August when the NHK representative knocked on the suspect's door. Details of the conversation have not yet been reported, but just to give you an idea of an NHK collector's unique tenacity, here's one knocking on a guy's door for 3 minutes straight. For the uninitiated, with this kind of visit, these collectors will demand that you sign their TV license agreements and flat out refuse to take any excuse not to. Regardless of whether you actually watch NHK or even don't own a TV, they will not leave until you sign on the dotted line. Even those that manage to evade the collection sometimes end up with creepy presents. Japanese people have grown accustomed to this situation by mostly refusing to answer their own door. Guests to this nation, however, might not be. So the suspect allegedly did what he thought was right in the presence of an apparent extortionist and sprayed him in the face with a fire extinguisher. I really hope that this guy, that the charges are dropped, because if this, seriously, if you're, imagine going to another country and having somebody knock on your door and not leave you alone. You know what I mean? Where was I? Sprayed him in the face with the fire extinguisher. A demonstration of how that might have went. Just imagine the NHK collector's flaming pot of room food. Okay, so the NHK collector immediately called the police and pressed charges against the Vietnamese man who was in Japan training as a technical intern. The suspect reportedly told police, "I didn't understand what the other person was saying." The investigation is still ongoing, but Japanese netizens are coming out in full support of the suspect. Well done. This guy is totally in the right. He was being forced to sign a contract that he couldn't fully understand. A little excessive, but I can sympathize with him. Crush NHK. I bet I know who said that one. Of course, anyone not familiar with NHK would view those collectors as suspicious. Someone comes to your door and demands money. What else are you going to do? This wouldn't even be a problem if they just scrambled the channel already. Tachibana helped this man. This last comment is calling upon the leader of Enkoku, Takashi Tachibana, who is now currently serving in the House of Counselors. You know, to be honest, I'm surprised he hasn't been arrested for the thing we talked about in that other podcast. Yeah. Given Tachibana's flair for the dramatic, it would be hard to imagine he doesn't get all over this case in a very public fashion. God, I hope he does. It's early, though, and hard to tell where this incident will lead. Nevertheless, it is just one more instance that shows that this unusual funding system needs a major reform, or the next misunderstanding might end up much worse than a full face of foam. So imagine how much these people have to get paid. You know what I mean? Like, in order to be the person who actually goes to somebody's house and harasses them relentlessly, you've got to get paid so much fucking money to have to be that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe.
This has got to be a great job. It's probably on commission too. Like, so that if you are actually good at it, you get, like, you make bank and it's worth it, you know, to turn yourself into the fucking asshole that does this to people. Anyway, Devilman and Hellboy team up to promote the Hellboy reboot film.
The so dialogue.
Okay. This is created by Gonagai's Dynamic Planning. There's a crossover image starring the two Fiendish Heroes, Devilman and Hellboy. And then the creator of Hellboy, who comparatively to this is a child, drew this image, which doesn't quite have the same impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway. I'm realizing that yet another article that I shared didn't come through. Or maybe somebody else removed it. So Nintendo and Game Freak try to catch the Pokemon type trademarks in Japan. So basically, they're trying to trademark the kanji characters for things like grass and water. So Mobile Mercenary, it's not a crossover, like they're not doing an anime. It's just like a promotional thing for the movie coming out over here. But it is pretty cool. Anyway, yeah. So they're trying to.
They're trying to. What is it? Trademark React.
Yeah, that sounds like when Wizard wanted to trademark magic or dragons because of Dungeons and Dragons and that card game, or that one episode of Batman the Animated Series where the Joker wanted to trademark a fish that he bioengineered, which you can't do. But good luck to them in that pursuit if they really think that they can get away with that in their country. So some common word like fire and water, unless you're a band, for some reason, you shouldn't be able to trademark that. But what do you two think?
Trademarking a word?
I mean, yeah.
Word. A common use word.
I have to pull up an article that got removed from the doc. It's on you because I'm going through Sankaku Conflicts and there's a bunch of images that people shouldn't see. On stream, at least.
Let's see. Mobile Mercenary and Osaru were laughing about the exchange about organized poaching. Mobile Mercenary says, "Get a penny every time grass is said," referring back to the
the trademark.
Oh yeah, pennies still exist where you're from.
yes.
All right.
What do y'all? What does Canada have? Do they have pennies? Have pennies?
No, we had pennies, but we got rid of them in like 2015 or
Why did you do
2016.
that? All your stuff is like in the hundreds for a common thought item.
Because pennies are like virtually worthless and a giant sack of change that you don't need.
That's how you start mugging. Come on.
So what we do now is we just round up or down to the nickel, if applicable, or everyone just uses debit, which is like most of the case.
So that's why.
But I'll say, if we had pennies, my job would be absolute hell. Because we have to count up all the tills and all that crap.
Use Bitcoin. All right, back to this.
We
Shanghai
only
police.
accept Bitcoin.
Shanghai police seize U.S. $42 million in counterfeit figures. China Central Television State Television, great job with that name. State television broadcaster is reported. Fuck you, God, Lindsay Lovers, you cannot write. On August 15th, that the Shanghai police have shut down a large-scale pirated figure factory worth. Let me try that again. On August 15th, that the Shanghai police have shut down a large-scale pirated figure factory worth approximately 4.5 billion yen /300 million won, or US $42.3 million. The company produced numerous counterfeit figures from popular franchises including One Piece, Sailor Moon, and Pokemon, as well as Hatsune Miku and Iron Man. That's a real popular franchise right there. Yeah, we've got a picture of like the Winter Soldier without a lower half. The factory was selling duplicate figures that typically retail for $40 to $50 US for about $4 wholesale.
Much work to go the effort there.
10 to 11 US dollars in stores. The pirated distributor was based in Guangzhou and Dongguan, which are probably not how they're pronounced, with 9 production lines and 3 warehouses. Police arrested 25 people involved in the company, seized 1,200 figure molds and approximately 1 million finished figures. So that's pretty crazy. I'm surprised.
How do you even go about establishing a business that way without getting caught?
It's China.
Oh, sure.
I mean, this is how do you set up the fake Apple store? It's China. Anyway, I'm curious about.
Not Shanks, you monsters.
I hope. I mean,
Shanks is a hero.
I hope that they can capture those 1-to-1 bootleggers at some point.
Yeah, that would be nice.
In fact, wouldn't it be hilarious if the thing that takes down the 1-to-1 bootleggers is a trade war started by Trump against China? That'd be fucking hilarious. Oh no, we can't distribute outside China anymore. Nobody wants it in China. Anyway, all right. So, Cannon Busters, awesome because it was made by a black person. I'm not going to go through all this crap. Obviously, the article is just about how everybody on Twitter that they shared here is stroking the dick of the creator for being black, basically.
LaShawn Thomas.
Yes, and I'm just going to say that if I was LaShawn Thomas, I'd be so fucking mad. Now, I'll say this, to Netflix's credit, they don't even use LaShawn Thomas's name in the trailer.
Good.
They don't hint at it at all, to their credit. All right.
So
and I'm just saying that if I was LaShawn Thomas, I would have used the pseudonym, because the fact that people are, I mean, if I was in his shoes, I wouldn't want people to like my stuff
just because I'm black.
Color.
So it's not
I
a
think
Guardian
that's so
Spice
fucked up. Well,
situation.
they didn't promote it the way High Guardian Spice did. Also,
Good.
where the fuck are you, High Guardian Spice?
Yeah, we
I don't
want
know
to
how that
watch
works.
you.
Stop asking. It will come. What has this guy done before?
this-
Avatar, I think.
No, he didn't do Avatar.
Well, he didn't like make it, but didn't he work in Korea?
I don't know.
I
about
think
that, but
he's
he
worked
did
on-
another thing. And by the way, I don't think it was actually Cannon Busters, but I'm very turned off to LaShawn Thomas's work because of Crunchyroll. Because when I went with my wife to see Ancient Magus Bride in theaters, the lights dim, and the loudest fucking Crunchyroll advertisement with Sailor B starts talking about LaShawn Thomas's work. It was like the earth was shaking. It was so loud. And my wife was pregnant at the time.
Ooh,
And you
early
can
baby.
literally damage the baby's ears in utero. So it was I'm still upset about it.
One comment I've said about seeing pictures of this show across Twitter was the main character's hair. I think it's the main character.
He's Spike, no. Yeah.
That person, yeah. Every time I see him, I keep thinking of Alfred Hedgehog from the Mysteries of Alfred Hedgehog.
Okay. So I'll say this. A lot of people here are talking about like I would normally watch my anime sub, but I got to support those black dub artists or whatever, right? So I'm going to say, again,
some of the voice actors are just white guys putting on.
Well, there are the three main characters. I think are all black voice actors. This girl does not sound black at all. Like she sounds legit like the typical anime character. She has a great voice. I mean that in that she's got a good range. She could play a lot of characters. Her skin color doesn't matter, right? But I just want to say that I'm disgusted by the touting of this sentiment. Awesome because it was made by a black person. Because, for example, great. Power to the people working on. By the way, this guy's voice actor, I think it's this guy. Poor guy has only been in two things: this and motherfuckers. And I'm so sorry that you've been absolute garbage so far in your career, and that everybody's pretending your shows are great because a black person made it. But actually, motherfuckers was made by a French guy who thinks he's black. But anyway, the thing about this though is that the reason why this upsets me is because there are phenomenal black voice actors already in the industry
that no one talks about.
That nobody talks about. Phil Lamar.
Oh yeah,
has been like an amazing voice actor for decades now.
Canadian actor.
What?
He was in Mad TV.
He was fucking Vamp in Metal Gear Solid.
He was Jack in Samurai Jack.
Yeah, I mean it's just so ridiculous, and this is such a step backwards to, look at the representation. And Black Panther, the first black superhero. Meteor Man, Blade. Fuck off, guys.
Blank Man, the movie that was before Blank Man, that was technically first.
The one with Shaq, which was garbage, but it existed, right? I mean, it's just so obnoxious that there's revisionist history about pretending that this is the first time a black person's ever held a job, right? It's so ridiculous. And it completely discredits the entire career of the trailblazers in the industry, like Phil Lamar, right? All these people who put in all this work. Spawn, another black superhero, right?
Well, was black, but definitely dead.
Also, Samuel L. Jackson is in the Afro Samurai. I just say that too. And the RZA. True. No, the RZA did music. I don't think he voiced in it. The RZA voices in Motherfuckers, So it's just irritating to me that people reduce this again to the skin color. I think Sailor Mercury said it's so condescending they reduce his work to a skin color. I totally agree. Yeah. Totally agree. It's so
be based off the effort,
Yeah, Phil Lamar.
Shouldn't really matter.
Phil Lamar was also Green Lantern, John Stewart for a whole generation of kids. Easily the best in that show of Justice League. Easily the best character in that show too.
On a side note, you brought up Sailor B. for that Crunchyroll screening.
Yeah.
I've seen like a single video long ago. Like I haven't seen any other videos since that include her, and it was something about like. Point being, I thought that she seemed like a Jamie Markey clone. Because it was like, this is how I like wrap up my clothes from my hoe days or something like that. I'm like, okay, there. So yeah, I don't know, man.
Like this person, I'm
skeptical of everything she says. I take it with a grain of Jamie Markey salt.
Hey, I'm giving Sailor B mad props because of that article she wrote where she talked about she was like talking to another anime fan who was like younger and like, I know you want the bad boys, but when you get to be my age, you only lust after Lupin or something like that.
I need to check out whoever this person
I'm watching
is.
in English because I'm not missing the black voice acting that I know there has to be, because if it's not present, that would be a shame, huh?
Really? Oh my.
Why did this take so long? Hashtag black anime streaming on Netflix right now. Cannabis is excellently binge.
Just imagine if they didn't have black voice actors. That person would be crushed right now.
What's the premise? What's the plot premise of this show anyway? I just keep seeing like, boom, there's action.
So I'll say this: it seems creative enough. It's this to me feels as inspired as Coyote Ragtime Show.
For some reason, that looks the part when you say Coyote Ragtime Show. For some reason,
something about it. Like Coyote Ragtime Show is such a generic anime. Like there's not really anything about it that stands out. Like it has all the elements, but let me put it this way. It's the Spike Lee remake of Old Boy compared to Old Boy, right? Completely misses the point of, the things that they did in the original Old Boy, right? And just paint by number recreates them, right? That's what that is, except for anime. So for Coyote Ragtime Show, basically, it's so uninspired and generic. But this show, I feel like there are some things in the trailer. I just glanced through the trailer. Seems like it could be good, but I feel like this nonsense of it's good because a black person made it is going to kill actual unbiased criticism of being able to enjoy it. You know what I mean? And that's such a shame. And like I said, if I was LaShawn Thomas, I would be fucking pissed that people were treating it this way.
Now, if the hard release comes out and they put that on the cover.
Put what on the cover? A black person made this?
Made by a black person.
I very much doubt that they're going to be that.
They don't even really do that with anime in general.
Question stupidity.
Yeah, except for when they put Vic Mignogna's name on the UK release of Tsubasa instead of
it was the UK
Monica Rial. Yeah.
For Coyote Ragtime Show, to me, it felt like you took the A team, put it in space, and technically it should have lasted one episode, but stretch it 13 episodes for that one. I do want
to clarify here that this is Sankaku Complex. I don't think I have to point out that it's kind of what do you call it? They got like a agenda or whatever, right? And how they write it, their bias is pretty open. Like it's pretty obvious when we read the stuff. But just keep in mind that there's a fuck ton of these, and the fact that there's this many, all of them talking about like they're sucking the dick over him being black. You know what I mean? Like it's embarrassing. But just keep in mind that obviously they went and looked for these and curated them and got them in here, So anyway, Osara says, I do not think Lee cared about the original source material. Spike Lee, he seemed not interested. The creator of this anime, however, is supposed to be a genuine otaku. No, that's what I'm saying. This is a guy who grew up watching anime and wanted to create his own, and he did. And to his credit, this is way better than Motherfuckers in the way it looks.
It's way better than Chronexia and the 8 Seals.
Oh hell! Oh god! Did you see Misty Cronexia's horrible fucking take
Tweet?
on Twitter recently? Oh my!
I responded
God,
to
that
that.
was
I
bad.
said, have you noticed
Delete
that none of the
account.
tracing is lining up with the model?
It was so
Uh,
fucking obviously the animation over the previs to track the camera.
By any chance,
Oh
can you show
my
a sample
God,
of this
that
so
was
everyone
so
else?
bad. What's up?
By any chance, can you show a sample of what you two are talking about so
I'll
more
show.
people
The original.
Misty
can get?
Cronexia's thing you talking about?
Yes,
Yeah, let me
yes.
pull it up. Oh man, it took all of my restraint when you said like you responded your tweet. Why did I search the word tweet?
Why do you decide to turn the lights on at a specific
Because he wants to do
time?
his dance. He wants to do his dance thing. But
No,
it's
I
not
mean-
turning on.
What? No, why do you specifically
there you
do it at a certain time in the podcast?
Because it's nighttime, baby. Ooh,
I mean, where I'm from, it's nighttime as soon as the podcast starts, but
same here. Change of view.
I just think of that scene when in Courage the Cowardly Dog, when the guy's doing the he's like the archaeologist and he's like scraping off the stuff in the tomb and like he triggers a thing and the disco ball comes down and goes Ramses and he like lets the mummy out. All right.
Return the slide.
see, Cronexia and the 8 Seals is still his banner, really?
Okay. All right. So he says, rant. People who complain about CGI anime don't realize 90% of anime are all made in 3D now.
That's right. You remember
The
back when
What's up?
Full Metal Alchemist was made? It's all 90% CG.
The only difference, this is from
Yuri
this
on
is
Ice.
from Yuri on Ice, and it's like, oh god, I just want to. If I had been in the same room of him tweeting, I would have punched him in the face. The only difference is they paint over it to give it that 2D look. Here's an example of the making of Yuri on Ice's opening to prove it. Like the worst take I've ever heard in my life. Here you are. Notice how the drawing basically never lines up with the 3D model and how the 3D model is barely actually moving. Yeah, good on you. Oh, and then Takaso here. Misty, I think it's time to take a break from doing anime content. Since as someone who found tons of anime through your videos, your content has been going downhill since... found tons of anime. Has been going downhill since 2017. Professor Who, everybody jumped on him, but like literally everybody. So much wrongness in this tweet. This is why I didn't respond. I'm like, you know what? Everybody's already gone.
Didn't the Vegas comment on this?
I think so. He retweeted it.
No, I'm something of a fucking idiot myself.
Ooh, ooh.
Like, how can you be this misinformed? I mean, this is the, I mean, I want to bring up a live sub count and see how many people are unsubbing for, wow, how did I ever think he knew anything about anime?
Does Social Blade still work with YouTube's stupid thing? Are you able to track it?
I'm not sure actually, but I'm sure that he's probably not.
I'm on the case.
He doesn't have that many followers, you know, and everything. Yo, Big Head, could you tell me what kind of CG is this? Because I really love it. Yeah, I mean, God, obviously CG gets
TV
used in
broadcast.
anime. Anyway, but he says, I love his bio here. I used to be #1 anime channel on YouTube, but then I got kids. He needs
So
to
wait,
change
when did
that.
he post this tweet? Today?
He needs to change that to I used to be #1 anime channel on YouTube, but then I tweeted about CGI anime.
Oh my god.
Literally
So
CGI, my dude, it says.
so looking at Social Blade, he isn't really. Honestly, he's been going on a downwards trend since the beginning
Yeah.
of the.
So
current-
this is CGI, but this is also the broadcast, you know, which is very common to have CGI shots in. Anyway, we're like really getting off into the
I
weeds here
want
with
to
this,
make
but
a quick comment on how the Yuri on Ice animation, like this was my problem with Yuri on Ice is that like the animation, I feel like they could have done it in a different way because it doesn't look that natural or like it feels okay, natural. Once again, I'll use the same word twice. It doesn't feel natural the way that they're moving. It's like they've never seen figure skating before or anything. I've barely even seen it, and it doesn't look that natural. Anyway,
well,
continue.
dude, it looks really weird. I don't know when I'm ever gonna have enough time to get to sit down and do the editing for the video we did on it, but like the waistband that separates shirt and pants just jumps up and down constantly during the shots. Like it looks so bad. So last thing I want to say about this.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to quickly say that he's gaining only 21 subs a day is what I was going to say. So there's not much to really kill.
Well, anyway, so let me just say that here's the thing about Cannon Busters and anything like this. In Japan, there's this bizarre, unique thing that happens with manga where a person has like almost full creative control over the story, how it looks, you know, the artwork and all that stuff. Sometimes they have the author and the artist being two different people. But the problem that I think occurs with anime fans in America, especially wanting to make anime, is that they copy the wrong thing, right? So quirky characters, art style, whatever it is, they focus on that too much. And the actual thing that makes anime good is that a bunch of people with different talents come together to work on it. And that's why when I talk about Coyote Ragtime Show in this, I feel like this is a facade. And the actual, it doesn't have a soul. You know what I mean? Like, because if you think about the charismatic nature of characters, you know, that jump out of the screen, like in, for example, Cowboy Bebop, right?
Yeah.
Where those characters
have a depth
have
to them.
so much life to them, you know, personality and whatnot.
This feels like a template.
Yeah.
Template,
and I think that's the issue is that I think that you get locked into copying the tropes versus what was the Jaden Smith anime like? How much time do you got? Sit down, have a Toblerone. Let's talk about it. I think that you end up copying the tropes instead of creating something important, you know, and you sort of polish out the facade. Whereas in order to make something that's good, you need to start with the heart, which is like the story, the characters, and all that stuff, and then hire the team that flushes out making them look good. You know what I mean? And having all that stuff get worked out. And I say that as somebody who's made my own stuff. I story wise, like I need to hire somebody to actually help me do that part. Because I fucking suck at it, you know, and I wouldn't want to actually watch anything that I wrote because long term, it would fall apart, you know, because that's not where my skill set lies. So anyway, all right. So last two articles here. Man arrested for child porn was also viewing lolly material, and I'm just going to say that bottom line here is that not everybody who is into lolicon/shotacon stuff is a pedophile, but everybody who is a pedophile who knows about it is into lolicon and shotacon, right? Obviously,
I don't know.
The correlation here doesn't work both ways. But here's the thing. I think this actually is worth reading because there's something interesting at the end that is an interesting argument that hasn't been yet made, and I think is just worth hearing. So, a children's skating instructor. So, first of all, I just want to read the article title here. Man arrested for child porn was also viewing lolly material. So
Didn't
that's
even say
interesting.
porn.
No. Lolly. The lolly is the important thing here as we continue reading. A children's skating instructor from Idaho has been arrested for possession of child pornography. Investigators, however, initially searched his home after being tipped off about the downloading of digitally animated images. So don't tell people you're into lolly. 40-year-old Boisean Jonathan Schmidt was charged with felony possession of child pornography. Current investigations reveal he caused no harm to the staff or children at Idaho Ice World, where he worked, according to City Parks Director Doug Holloway, who said, there is currently no indication from investigators that the Idaho Ice World facility or its users were involved in any way. Boise Parks and Recreation is taking the situation very seriously, and safety of our customers and participants is always our top priority. Schmidt will not be allowed at Idaho Ice World until further notice. Strangely enough, investigators of Idaho's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force looked into Schmidt after they were made aware of, quote, high-definition digitally animated images of young children engaged in sexual activity with adults. So I'm going to guess that Sankaku Complex is incorrect here, and it wasn't actually like the typical lolicon stuff, because the term high definition to me translates to like high fidelity.
Resolution.
It's not actually high resolution. It's a misuse of the term. I think they mean like CG, like 3D models, obviously, like from Daz Studio or whatever type thing. But when they say high definition, that seems like a layman version of trying to say like realistic looking. Basically, high fidelity is a better term that they probably should. That's just my assumption here, but it says high definition digitally animated images of young children engaged in sexual activity with adults being downloaded at an internet address associated with him, and not initially due to actual child porn. So videos featuring young boys performing sexual deeds were found in Schmidt's abode. So this is why I thought it was weird that they talk about the lolly content, since the videos they found featured young boys. That's what all I'm getting at.
Oh, so you're saying it should be, what is the term? Shota-con?
Yeah. Anyway, so upon interacting with Schmidt, detectives were supposedly told by him that he had been watching child pornography for years. He acknowledged that it was illegal to do so and tried to stop, but found his urges too much to bear. He mentioned how he tried seeking the alternative of computer-generated or animated images, stating that he thought it was not against the law to observe such material. The opposite of what lolly naysayers claim, being that readers of such content instead transition from the fictional material to the real thing. So basically, and again, I think this actually furthers my theory here, his term here of computer-generated, assuming it's actually like CG stuff, right? But the bottom line here is that as they said, normal, like the naysayers of lolly, as they put it, say that like people who witness lolicon eventually become pedophiles, and they're saying that this guy claimed he used it as an outlet as opposed to viewing actual child porn, right, and whatnot. So going from something that actually victimizes a child into something that is fictional and doesn't, right?
Regardless, he's stuck in a profession that's like a huge conflict
around
of
kids.
interest.
Yeah, no, seriously, he should definitely not be.
He should seek some help.
Well, see, that's the thing, and I talked about this way back when we first covered this, and we did the lolicon as a thought crime thing about how like America shot themselves in the foot with pedophiles getting help because they made it so that anybody who admits to having attraction or whatever to minors to their therapist, that the therapist has to report them. You know what I mean? So that literally all that does is make sure that they don't try to get help. You know, and the thing is that like it's such an icky concept and such an icky thing people don't like to to acknowledge exists, but you don't make it just go away by pretending it doesn't exist. You know what I mean? And that's why I argued that the sex dolls and all those things, that like making those illegal is actually more likely to make these people not have an outlet and go after actual kids, which is a tragedy. Anyway, so cute female Shotokan on trial for raping a 12-year-old she met in game. Details are emerging about a 23-year-old woman from Kagawa Prefecture who is on trial for the statutory rape of a 12-year-old boy whom she met online. Japanese media has delivered information on a 23-year-old Kagawa Prefecture woman named Rika Nagao, who is in court for the crime of statutory rape after having intercourse with a 6th grade boy she met while playing mobile game Knives Out. Weird
Sounds like a legit game.
Yeah, she promised this podcast brought to you by Knives Out, the new game where you can have sex with a 23-year-old Kagawa Prefecture woman.
It has high resolution 3D graphics.
So just full disclosure, we're not sponsored and probably never will be. I'm pretty sure that there's some sort of law.
I mean, after that, we probably won't.
Can you just imagine going into a World of Tanks like advert? She promised to marry him when she became an adult, or sorry, when he became an adult. Rather worryingly, the woman has 2 children of her own: a 5-year-old daughter who Nagao gave birth to when she was in high school after copulating with a middle schooler. She's been doing this for a while, guys. Versus seats as achievement unlocked. That's fucked up, man. Oh. And so she has a 5-year-old who she gave birth to after having sex with a middle schooler when she was in high school, and a 3-year-old son. Nagao initially visited the boy's hometown of Fukuoka and took him to a love hotel at the end of December before bringing him to her hometown of Takamatsu in January.
I'm sorry, but at love hotels, do they not like ID the kids or something?
So the thing about love hotels is that they have the reputation of being a quote unquote love hotel, but they're actually just
they're just a normal hotel.
Yeah, you could stay there by yourself. You can, it's not actually. It's just what they're notorious for. So
okay, it's word on the street.
Theoretically, you could stay there. Anyway, so. Before bringing her to her hometown of Takamatsu in January, she is said to have used her experience as a parent to instruct him on how to tell his own mother about the trip without worrying her. Honestly, as a parent, I'd like to know what the fuck she got that kid to say, because I wouldn't let my kids go on a trip. Anyway, how old did they say this kid was? 12-year-old.
12.
Jesus, I mean, I know in Japan that the kids are a little bit more independent and walk around and there's less crime and less whatever, but still.
They're not in Norway.
In addition to the statutory rape, she is being charged for manufacturing child pornography after she forced him to kiss her on camera.
Wait, is that's child pornography kissing?
I mean,
fornicating.
What? That's not That's not the Latin word for kissing, Augie.
Think about the way that FDDNM. My feelings on the way Japanese people kiss.
Actually, that's true, but I mean,
right? I mean, if that's what they filmed, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if I would consider it pornography, but she should be brought up on charges for being
a creep. Yeah. So. I've said this before, I think, on the podcast, but more or less in Canada, it's legal for a female to go topless, I guess, whenever a man can go topless, because
isn't
some
oral
lady
sex
won.
with an animal also legal?
What? Oh, that stuff.
Yeah. Canada, where sexual assault of women is legal or is not illegal, and oral sex with dogs is.
Whoa. Okay, back to what I was saying. So
no, nothing Canada.
So the reason that's a law, or would that be called a law, or just anyway? Point being, that case was won because substantially, whatever, scientifically speaking, breasts are non-sexual. So Lips are non-sexual, so I don't see it as child pornography or whatever if there's a kissing photo. But like I said, it makes you a creep.
So the thing about the definition of pornography is not that that it's particularly sexual in nature. It's that it's intended to elicit like it's eroticism or whatever.
Well,
right?
my offense for that is that, okay, well, I'll take a picture of my feet. Oh, that's porn.
Hey, I mean, people.
My point is if it exists, it's a fetish.
Stuff. I mean,
exactly. So everything's porn that we take picture of.
Porn. Rule 34 doesn't need to exist anymore because everything.
Well, no, that is actually a rule. Like Rule 35 is if it exists, it's a fetish or something.
36 is what I'm afraid of.
I'd have to look that up, but anyway.
It can always get worse. Now let's move on.
The woman defended her choice of sexual partner by saying that she had been the victim of domestic violence and infidelity. And
so
that the 12-year-old, hold on.
So that makes it okay.
Quote, looked after her. I mean, this is one alpha kid. If her like spouse was abusing her and this
her middle school spouse.
Yeah.
Well, she likes them in the middle school.
My 7-year-old boyfriend beat me. The 12-year-old came in and told him not to do it anymore or he'd be sorry. So, looked after her. A classmate has said, however, that she has always been a Shotokan. Media are speculating that Nagao will be sent to a specialized medical facility for psychiatric treatment rather than receiving a custodial sentence. Some may question whether an adult man who groomed and had sex with a 12-year-old girl would have been treated the same way, although much of the internet's attention has been directed towards her beauty. I mean, Snapchat filters and stuff. I guess she's not the voice of fuck it. Damn it. I don't remember her name. Shit. Joke gone. Okay, great. There's a voice actor that we talk about on the podcast. I don't remember who it is. Is it Ray in the Japanese version of Ava that has like she's just like hideous?
Megumi Hashiabara?
I don't remember who it is. I don't remember.
That's who it is.
I don't remember if that's it though.
I'm telling you, that's the voice actress.
Okay, but I don't know if it's the voice of Ray that I'm thinking of or if it's a different character. That's what I'm saying.
You argue about those voices in your head.
All right, let's go ahead and do. I'm always losing where the stupid mouse is. Do I do that? All right.
Okay. Is this for Chodos?
It is for Lodos. Regular Lodos War TV series.
I'd like to preface this with saying my attention was pretty divided while watching the TV series, so I will give it the benefit of the doubt. What is that?
I'm happy to announce we're going to have a little bit lighter watch clubs coming up, at least this next week.
What was the next one? Cristania?
No, Joel Hunter Bem Line.
Oh,
Cristania. Okay. Wait, what?
Your case looks thicker than mine, Augie.
Why, thank you.
No, like put it up to the camera and put it to the spine. By the way, look at his arm. It is so janked up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is terrible. Okay.
Well, it makes sense, but it just looks like there should be
doesn't make sense.
Or something.
His wrist is like janked off. Where the rest of his arm is super long.
He doesn't have an elbow.
No, he does. It's just on like his wrist.
Where did I put Lodos?
Low dose, as they say in the show.
He doesn't have an arm. He has like a car axle.
Okay, so I'm going to continue what I was saying. So my attention was really divided, so I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt that I missed some things that could have made it good or something. However, what I did listen to the entire thing, obviously, and from what I gathered, it was, bad guys. Oh,
Okay,
save girl. Oh,
I'll
save
be
this.
right back. I gotta get my charger for this because my AirPods keep.
Can't hear you. It's went out.
So yeah, in a nutshell, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, but I don't think I can give it necessarily that much of the benefit of the doubt, more or less.
That doesn't make sense. Spit it out.
What do you mean? I spat it out. I'm saying because it had that.
Benefit of the doubt, but I won't give it a benefit of the doubt. You said the same thing twice. What does that mean?
He wants to give it the benefit of the doubt, but not to a degree that he normally would.
Ah, okay.
Or, sorry, not to the degree that I wasn't paying any attention. Because I do have, like, an idea of what went on that was like, oh, it went from point A and then point B. And it's like, okay, but that was, like, really uninspiring, uneventful. Well, it was eventful, technically, because...
You're making some great points, dude.
What is that?
You're making some great points.
I'm told you. Like, if you guys said something about the show, I'd be like, oh, yeah, that did happen.
Yeah. I'm looking for the show because I want to see this stupid arm you guys are talking about, and I don't know.
Well, it's on the Blu-ray. Do you have the Blu-ray?
I have it. I'm just looking for the stupid thing. Because I have it out of the one I have opened is the bootleg that I have.
Okay, so
well, it's a case on the inside anyway, Brad. You'd have to open it.
For the bootleg, I just don't know where I put it. I know where the real one is. I just don't want to open it right now.
Well, I'll find an image online.
Thank you.
So for the TV series, it is a retelling of the OVA, but not exact one.
It feels like it could loosely connect as a sequel. They just transitioned to the very beginning.
Because they specifically talk about the War of Heroes or whatever, which was what the OVA was about.
It's interesting because I still haven't completed the OVA, and it basically picked off right where I left off.
Actually, the War of Heroes was between Gavin and the King, which is only told through flashback.
The entire thing of the OVA is that, first of all, Gim is in it and dies. Right. Second of all, Lelia is possessed by Cardis. What's her name?
Karma.
No, not Karma.
You're talking about the Grey Witch or the bracelet?
She's possessed by the witch or whatever. So that isn't in the TV series. It's not like a retelling. It's a sequel. It's a direct sequel.
No, it's not. It shows Woodchuck being the one possessed, but you see other characters like
Woodchuck doesn't exist. Basically, like he turns in the OVA, he turns into the bad guy, and then in the new series, it's like
in the TV series, he shows up for a brief bit at the beginning. So characters in the OVA in the TV series are spread out towards the beginning.
I just looked over at the one I pulled out.
They did like a really brief recap at the beginning. Because if you watch the series without seeing the OVA, you'd be like, what is going on? They're talking about, oh yeah, we saved the princess. Oh yeah, we defeated wizard guy or whatever.
Right. Well, anyway, it's split up into two arcs. The first one is Parn versus that one guy.
Well, that was when they had Orson, is that his name? Going through the Berserker arc. Can I just say right now, I thought that was granted, this is where I'm saying the benefit of the doubt. I wasn't looking at the screen at the moment it happened, but so what happened was Orson went into Berserker mode for one last time and was about to slice down what's her name that he loved or whatever. And then right before he sliced her down, he just stopped and knelt down and then died. And then after that, you see what's his name, the King Cashew, fighting someone. What's his face?
Astron.
And it's like Parn says, "Don't worry, he'll make it." Blah blah. Gets stabbed and then lives. Why? So you have the one character I liked, Orson, who was actually getting somewhere, and then it's like, oh yeah, he's dead. And then you go to old guy who clearly gets stabbed through the chest, and it's like, yeah, he's alive.
Oh, it's revealed later that he's alive through one of his wizards.
Through light novels.
So I'll make this comment.
It explains in a later episode that
we don't see him later in the show, do we?
Yes, you do see Ashram later in the show. We're
Orson?
watching.
I will make this
Orson dies. I thought you.
That's what I'm saying. Orson dies.
Is put the circle over the hand so you don't see this disgusting. See, the problem with this is that the stupid hilt of the blade isn't underneath his hand. Why?
Well, no, look at that. His elbow is like at his shoulder height, and then it goes into this long section.
Not. His elbow's down here. His elbow's down here. He just has a
extra joint in his shoulder.
No, he doesn't. It's the shirt is like bunched up at the top, like when you roll up your sleeve or whatever.
All right. Well, so his forearm is super short.
Yeah, it looks. The perspective on it is garbage. I'll agree.
Okay, so back to what I was saying. Orson, he dies. King Cashew, he lives despite being stabbed, but Orson wasn't stabbed. He just kind of knelt down after his berserker mode.
You become king if you can't get stabbed and live through it.
So what I'm saying is, why would you kill off the good character and have the whatever king guy just live, even though he could have had a noble send-off?
Roll a 20.
He didn't roll a 20. That's a
based
good
on D&D logs. He didn't roll a 20. He died.
That's true.
King Cashew was stabbed. Ha!
I love how Parn had this giant fetish for King Cashew, even though he seemed like the most boring, just a king.
So
he was a king.
The TV series is a lot more interesting than the OVA. The OVA, he barely did anything. In the TV series, we actually see the king in a duel. We see him actually go to a campaign.
Yeah, but that's all I remember. He was in a duel, and then he wasn't, and then he was in a duel, and then he wasn't. And there's a bunch of blab about this kingdom is at war with us and the dragons or something. And like, this is what I mean when I'm saying I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt, because there's so many gaps in between what I remember. Something else that I had something in my head that came to mind, but I think I lost it again about what I thought about the show.
One of the things that I really liked about it is the presentation of how you become king. That you legitimately have to be a hero, right? Yeah. As in order to become king, it's not that, oh, my dad was king, I'm the prince, now I'm king. It's like, it's the actual way that, I mean, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I'm saying that the creation of a king, historically, like the legend of slaying dragons and all that, is that you have to show signs of virtue and literally be like almost a god among men in terms of your ability to provide value to the civilization, to the point where people look to you rather than
as a king.
Joe Schmo, right?
Well,
so you actually earn the title by being, a virtuous human being over.
I'll agree with you on that, but they did explain a little bit with Spark's story, beginning of Spark's story, that you have to be some sort of nobleman descent, but you have to prove what you just said to become a king. Because Spark was. I
think it's more that, like, for instance, if you aren't born into knighthood, you're not going to pick up a sword and go and do these virtuous acts.
Fair enough.
If you're born into a farmer, like a farm household, you're going to farm. Right. So the barrier to entry to even get to the point where you could perform the acts that would get you recognized as a virtuous leader or whatever, it would be very difficult for the farmer to do it compared to somebody who is, put into that position where you could actually get, your, you'd be put in a position to perform the acts, by defending the weak, by killing the raiders or whatever, you know what I mean?
You would be groomed into that field of experience.
Guys, I remember what I was going to say. So, isn't it hilarious how, Parn, I'm trying to remember the names, Parn and Deedlit, how there was a time skip of like 9 or whatever years after that, and there's 15? Okay, even better. Where they're still traveling together as a pair, but as far as I know, they're just coexisting.
There's a relationship.
Are you sure? Because I don't think they touched upon that at all. And it seems like Deedlit was still. Gambit. Oh, I like Parn and stuff, and Parn's just like, I like the king. but I just find it hilarious that from the dialogue, it seemed like Deedlit was just there as a companion that's like, I love Parn. And she didn't really do anything in the story, even though technically she should have been like the main love or whatever.
Have to be chased in order to stay on it. They can't.
But it's like every time you see
companion all the time.
Every time you see Parn come back later or whatever, pop in here and there, he's with Deedlit. It's like, what? You're just there as like a statue. Why is...
I know, because he needs her to constantly blow fresh breezes by summoning the god of the wind.
And the thing is, it's mirrored pretty decently with... I think... Is it mirrored relatively...
pretty decently with...
Is it mirrored with Spark and... what's her name? Niece? Every time I hear that name, I think of the family member niece.
You're right. Yeah. Well, they made a pun of that in the Welcome to Lotus Island,
which was the best part of the entire show. And
exactly
when I finished the series, when they played the last segment of the Lotus Island and it ended, that's when I was sad. I'm like, I'm not going to see any more of those segments.
They did make a TV series of those segments, but I can't find a seed. I can find the torrent, but I never can get any seeds to get it downloaded, and they have to sell it first for me to buy it. So,
Lotus Island.
He's talking about like the SD,
the super deformed chibi stuff. For me, what I liked about it compared to the OVA is the story and characters are a lot more coherent, because it, instead of just here's a character drop situation, it explains more of how they get into the situation.
It was instantly better when they added name tags for everyone they introduced.
That too. Name tags to the character, name tags to the places, like you would think that they would include in the Legends of Galactic Heroes Blu-ray that Sentai released, but that's another story.
Could have just not bought it like I told people not to. We went over it like nonstop. Hey, look at all this shit that went on with this release. Why you shouldn't buy it. Don't settle for this. Don't give them your money. Hey guys, look what I got.
Hey, I completed the catalog. I'm almost completing the catalog. I just need to keep getting updated. I appreciate what they did with Orson. He felt more developed this time.
I thought he was amazing the moment he lost his demon, because he's like this whiny baby.
I need the demon.
That's why he was like my favorite, like the best character almost. And then they killed him, like I said.
Character. I didn't mind Parn and Deedlit that much. I like how you have.
I thought it was better, but he was still like, oh, this is my past. I did all these great things, when he's just like standing there accompanying them the whole time. I don't know.
For Deedlit, I like how Lisa Orbitz gives in the serious mode, it is Deedlit. In the Welcome to Lotus Island, she used
Slayers.
the Lena Inverse voice for Deedlit.
Dude, I think it was Parn. Did he in the Lotus Island things, he sounded like Tenchi's voice actor. And he also sounded better because he's like, I don't know. He sounded like very flat in the original OVA. By the end of the TV series, he was a lot better somehow.
Now, to me, Ashram he doesn't have much of a voice. He's super serious and Snape-like in the serious portion. But in the regular Lotus, the Welcome to Lotus Island segment, the super deformed part, he sounds a lot like Beekman from Beekman's World. I thought that was pretty hilarious.
I never saw Beekman's World or anything.
Well, just know that this is an extremely New York City style dub. Thank you, John.
Yeah, I could pick that up, but
especially with them cookies.
I hate Cashew. Well, I don't particularly care about him, but he had an amazing voice in the specials, going, "Oh, I'm Kid Cashew." I just loved how self-aware and stupid they were in that one. But yeah, all the New York accents, and then going frickin' everything.
Yeah. Hence the name of the episode.
Yeah.
So Ashram's crew at the first arc, you have the mage who gives up his faith at the end of the arc, which his faith gives him the power.
The mage that was in the first OVA, who basically was only in 2 scenes in the TV series.
Pretty much. You have him. You have the Dark Elf who appeared in the second arc, not in the first arc. And you have this war priest with this huge huck of hockey hair show up, and he does side with the main crew, but ends up joining back with Ashram anyway. Which I thought the character dynamic was in. For what was given, not bad for an evil team at the time, but I question more the war priest because he seemed like a good character, just kind of misguided. But what'd you do?
I remembered something.
What about Fruits Baskets?
Take a look at the picture.
Okay, you two look at the picture. So
I'll show it on screen once you find it, but continue.
So you have that fight, then move 15 years later. We enter Sparks. To me, I don't mind Sparks. He's naive.
I like Sparks so much better than Parn because...
Oh, yeah, you have a character.
I think, ironically, because he wasn't preceded with all this information of, oh, he did all this great stuff, it made it way better because you were going from the ground up with him. So it was like, oh,
are you serious? Because Parn was like so incompetent in the...
Sparks is incompetent Batman.
Well, that's what I'm saying. People say, oh, Parn, he was the great knight, and I look up to him and all this stuff. It's like, what? I don't remember this great stuff you did. But Spark is just like, I'm Crispin Freeman and a young blood who's just trying to be a knight right now. And so then I got my motley crew with me that I have been assigned.
Oh, yeah, one of the...
Look at that picture. It does not bode well with me.
Yeah. So what this tells me, this tells me it's another Darling in the Franxx, except like even thicker.
No, look how thick that. But the thing is, I think it's like extra long, which is for the figures or whatever that's included.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But optimistically speaking, they have a chipboard case inside for just the discs. It just so happens that they have this ginormous box to hold the whole package together.
I mean, that's not been how they've done it up until this point.
Well, don't they have the terrible Dragon Ball Z box thingamajig that we hated, and that basically had that?
I mean, it's basically what you're describing is the Aloha OA box that I have for Space Dandy.
Well, yeah,
Right.
but I mean, the Dragon Ball Z 4x3 train wreck, like that box, was really
what you're
large.
saying is you want it to be like the Iron-Blooded Orphans chipboard box, where you have like at least you can at least get the box. You just have to buy that other crap and then throw it away. Or
Yeah,
sell it
but
to Lishonsky like I did.
more or less.
Thanks again for that, Lishonsky.
Can we move back to more interesting things?
Yes.
And looking at a slower show.
Oh, the new one's slower?
I haven't seen them all the way, but I think they both have the same pace. So Spark's crew. So we have Spark, and later on Niece. Along with him, for some reason, for the English dub, you have what's his name?
What's going on?
I just saw the podcast document for next podcast, Jew Hunter.
Wait, I thought we were doing.
No, we're doing Jewel Hunter Ben Line.
Okay.
I can't believe how many times I've had to say it.
Because it wasn't obvious.
It was so obvious since I said it so many times.
You need to speak up more. All right, what? Anyway, you have Sparks, Niece, one of two assassins. One of them's technically a nobleman in disguise who sounds like Ed the Horse for some reason in the English dub. You have a spunky elf assassin named Leaf, who I kind of wish there was more scenes with her.
You see, I actually remember these characters. That's the big difference between the OVA and the TV series. They introduced the characters.
Well, you also had more time to get to know them.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that too.
You have the dwarf. Sadly I can never remember his name, but I know what he does.
No, isn't this that guy that, like, I don't know, helped out Spark get into the whole thing or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, that guy. Yeah.
He helped him stop the Dark Elves, or assist in trying to help him stop the Dark Elves from stealing the orb that they found 15 years ago, and now it's a relevant plot point because our friend from the OVA, who's now back, Warren, where is it? Yeah, Wagnard, who kind of looks like
What a great name.
yeah, he looks like the Mandarin to me. Wants to revive an evil spirit to kill the world and have him rule the undead, which makes me question, does that mean he stays invincible? I mean, does
Question.
he age?
Does Niece provide anything other than a plot device and other than a Princess Peach?
She can bake cookies. She can heal the party. She is a tool for this resurrection. And she is...
The answer is no.
Hold on, this last one's super important. She is...
I mean, if it doesn't come to you within like 5 seconds, probably not.
There you go, Slane's daughter. That's a very important plot. Also in this era, towards the end, you see what? So many characters. We haven't even...
Well, yeah, that's a bit of a problem having so many.
I'm not planning to talk about all of them, but Sheeris. Yeah, Sheeris. She comes back as Queen of the Dragon Riders, which was pretty awesome to see what happens to her later.
That's what you're fiddling with, Brad?
What is he doing now?
He's using a Pubix cube.
Solving a Rubik's Cube?
Oh.
Why?
I was thinking, what are you doing? Like, adjusting a price gun over there? Because that's exactly what it sounds like.
It's adjust the ones that turn and put it back together like everyone else does.
Anyway, the characters, like, because of the whole Princess Peach thing and all that stuff with Niece, I thought it was really stupid that they forced the whole love thing between her and Spark. Oh, she had a not very great voice actress. Apart from when she yelled, she was fine when she yelled, but when she was a normal voice, Crispin Freeman, he just crisped her out.
Now, do you know what a few of these voice actors went into voicing later on, right?
Nope. Or yes.
Because it was Central Park Media, some of them went on to voice such classics as Geno Cyber and everyone's favorite Mecha Fantasy, Garzy's Wing.
Literally, Crispin Freeman's in the greatest dubs ever. So you can just say that. But, I mean, yes. Lena Inverse, she's in the Aria now in some role.
Oh, Lisa.
Yes. I haven't seen Aria, so I don't know which character.
Well,
but yeah. So I think someone like, what's her name, Leaf?
Yeah,
is that what it is? Like, I thought she had more chemistry than frickin' Niece, and wasn't there another one that
with her?
No, that red-haired girl was for Parn, the one that Orson loved and got cucked by.
Well, she became a queen, so there you go. With Leaf, though, when she gets jealous, puffs off, and acts sort of tsundere, she's kind of acting it in her own right. Like she should be jealous, or she should be angered.
Jealousy isn't a thing that's like a should be thing. It's
that's
optional.
not virtuous.
I'm still staying it. The audience can relate to her to see why
for the unrequited love part.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of those types of situations because it's like one of those. Well, I'm damned if I do cheer for them, or I'm damned if I don't. And yes, because the most important part. A Canuck cuck.
Right before the stream starts, you said maybe I should put down I'm the cuck master.
Yes, I want to enter as the supreme cuck lord. Just because it sounds like the stupidest name ever. Cuck commander?
Cuck commander.
All right, so welcome to Lotus Island. This is the part where Lodos Island. This is the favorite part of the show. So all the characters will.
Well, that's kind of a problem when the shorts at the end of the show are much better than the show itself.
I thought the first arc in this was the best part of the show.
Actually, yeah.
When they go after the scepter of domination. I just thought that the characters were like the fantasy element of it was better than it was in the OVA.
I agree with that statement. Honestly, I feel like the TV series is a vast improvement over the OVA. Then again, they had so many years.
Spark, though.
You hate Spark?
Hate him.
Oh, well.
All right, elaborate.
I just don't like him. I didn't think he was good.
That was a good elaboration, but
I thought he was a good attempt. He didn't really follow through.
I want to watch these heroes. I don't want to watch these wannabe heroes who complain all the time and can't do anything right. Especially Parn in the original OVA.
Okay. Yeah, I like
the rookie who becomes the hero, a la Hercules, you know?
Okay, but Hercules has like super strength and whatnot.
He's got like steroids. But Spark, the thing is, he was I didn't mind the idea, but the thing is, he didn't follow through. Like I said, because it felt like what I was hearing was, oh, they encounter something. Oh, I swing my sword and I win or I lose or something. I don't know.
He's
It
not
sounded
that.
like very bare bones.
Okay, Lotus Island. So at the beginning, you had Parn and Delit host these segments because they were the main focus.
Right,
Story
that
focus
arc.
of the arc. In this one, we see Parn trying to train to become a knight. King Ashram causing so much silliness throughout these segments, and
Is King Ashram King Cashew?
I mean King Cashew. Thank you. Ashram shows up later. So in this portion, they do more variety type of plots. Like they're trying to cheer up Orson. They're going to the beat. No. Yeah.
Orson, who has no emotions. Let's cheer
No
the guy up.
emotions. Next episode. He's a whiny because he has all of his emotions affect him at once. A lot of these segments kind of feel like they inspired Mighty Magisword.
I don't know what that is.
Augie just wants to make references.
You just want to play with a Rubik's Cube, which is kind of rude in this part, but whatever.
Well, he can hear it.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Okay. Okay, so it's been a while since I've seen the first part of it. Do you have anything to chime in for the first part of Welcome to Lotus?
We talked about the first part last podcast.
Welcome
So
to
if
Lotus, I
FDDNM's
think
got
he's
anything-
saying.
I know. I'm saying if you got anything you want to say, FDDNM, about it, now's your chance to shine. Oh, by the way, do you have to be somewhere? Don't you have work in the morning?
Yeah.
Technically in like 13, is it 13? 23 minutes?
23 minutes?
Yeah, apparently 1 o'clock is when it happens, but either way. We should be on schedule. But he's talking about the Lotus Island segments at the end. What did you have a discussion about the first half
We
or
didn't
something?
really talk that much.
Yeah, I don't really care for the Lotus Island stuff.
What I'm talking about is like the one with Parn, because I want to move to the one with Sparks. I
don't know. Both of them had this like self-aware, silly, dumb stuff. And I kind of have the same thoughts on both of them. I liked how dumb they were. And they were better than the show itself.
For Sparks in the second part of the second arc of the show, he is trying to become a knight. So King Cashew gives Sparks the task of delivering cookies to Dragon Mountain.
I think that was a good way to like convey what was actually happening in the story, but dumb it down and like more or less have a terrible metaphor for what's going on.
So in this one, we have Sparks and Niece. Niece going to deliver these cookies to Dragon Mountain, and accompanying them is Little Dragon. I like how the New York accented
the dragon that they had in the thing that was never actually like
show
a real thing in the show. Right.
Only thing I can correlate that to is like at the very beginning where you see like this one red dragon fly away, and then this big dragon.
They never actually interacted with a dragon in the show, right? Like to that degree.
Unless I want.
It made me think of Icarus from Dragon Ball. Gohan's little like friend dragon.
Yeah.
But like they never actually did anything with it.
Not in the serious portion, or are you talking about Icarus?
No, I'm talking about
in Lotus.
In Lotus, the dragon usually resolves the issue by blazing fire upon the people.
In real life, or sorry, in the non-shorts.
Non-shorts is what
the Lotus, not the Lotus Island, like
in the canon show.
In the canon show, I don't recall it being there, unless you want to count.
That was the question.
Count the dragon rider queen who rides her red dragon, but I
No.
think that's
Oh yeah, the eagles coming to rescue the hobbits. I forgot about that.
yeah. Oh, going on. Then you have this dark elf who's consistent the whole time, and a roadrunner like fashion, always trying to steal these cookies from our heroes.
I think all of them are trying to steal the cookies.
Oh yeah, and it's all for Ashram. He really wants those cookies. So you see this throughout these shorts. The very last one's rewarding because they finally make it to Dragon Island, and to celebrate, Niece does this like they treat this as a barbecue because she's making all of her special cookies, and just sees the dark elf and just decides to let him have some because he's at this point just give it to him.
I mean, if you want to really get into the nitty-gritty of a story about making cookies and not wanting them to have them, I mean, you could have done that from the beginning because you can make infinite cookies.
Yeah. I kind of like how they introduce Ashram in chibi form. He is the dark chef.
Oh, isn't he the... He had this one thing he kind of said that the other characters didn't say. I forget what it was. It was very New York-y, I think.
Freakin?
No, everyone well, maybe he did, but like everyone started saying frickin' after like he came in or something.
Now they'll say frickin', but they'll say damn and hell all the time.
They also used the word ass in the shorts, which was funny because they didn't use that in the show really, except for like one time. It's like they have stronger language in these random shorts than the TV series itself.
Oh, I kind of like how at the end Sparks is given another task to become a knight, and it's him to go to super dangerous island, and he thinks he can bring Niece there, but darn it, Payne.
Parn?
No, not Parn, the other guy. Darn it, damn.
Orson?
Oh, not Orson. Slain tells him, no way, I'm not letting you go with my freaking daughter again.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Bowen Falls.
In the first part, when Orson originally got his emotions, it made me realize at that moment, one of the problems with the show is that it takes itself so painfully serious. Like, because as soon as Orson gained his emotions back, it was really silly and stupid because it's like where or whatever, it's overly emotional.
Well, yeah,
and because I love you, it's like what and all this stuff, and I'm like, wow, like literally the rest of the show is taking itself so seriously all the time. Like you have no, I don't know, breaks in between, I guess you could say. Which could just be something that I'm getting used to from all these modern shows, but I mean, it just makes the show so dry and stiff, I guess you could say.
How about the music in this one?
They used the same like 3 songs over and over again. Not that they were bad songs, but I felt like, wow, could use a different song for this. What about you? Do you think it's like super Grammy winning? Is that the right term, Grammy?
Well, the opening's about the same as the OVA.
I like the OVA opening a bit more, even though I didn't pay much attention to either.
And more kept me more at a trance with how it ended, kind of similar to or how they performed it. It's kind of similar to Outlaw Star in this regard.
Who did the ending to or the opening to?
Let's see.
They didn't wait. I forget. Did they translate the one for the series too? Because the OVA had a
Yeah, they translated.
An English dub for
the series part of the show had like the same type of music. It was applied correctly. The record of Lotus Island, I feel like that that was for what they use, it was applied correctly.
I don't think for like slapstick for coma stuff they really need to
Exactly.
go out of their way for music.
I kind of this time around, I kind of like the blend of the serious and silliness as you get
For the Lotus Island?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
for the TV series.
I was literally just done saying how there's virtually none of that except for that Orson bit, really.
Hold
I
on.
mean, Spark is a bit
Hold on. What are you
whimsical
talking
sometimes.
about?
What? How they don't have many like breaks with the silly stuff. It's like there's so much stuff that it takes itself so seriously with.
So, real quick, the TV series had the same opening and ending, right?
The ending's different. The opening's about the same.
Maybe on the Blu-ray they had the like English credits at the end with the opening, and then I would see, so I'd hear it twice in a row.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. I just felt like I was hearing it an awful lot.
Pace. Yeah, already covered that.
Do you think that the Right Stuff article always is without the hide adult on because Reese posts the link to Right Stuff and he probably posts one from a non-hide adult?
No, because it's in the regular doc, the podcast doc.
Well, that's what I mean in the doc.
No, it's in the default. Like he copies it from the one I posted originally.
Oh,
and sometimes it does come in with it on. I don't know why.
Okay.
So I think the recommendation for the show is probably going to be the same opinion as before. I'd recommend it.
I think. I thought it was better than the first time I watched this TV series. I actually liked it more than the OVA this time around. Although I still think that Gim is the best character in the show, and it's a shame that he's not in this because he dies. But I do not like Spark. I'm so like not into watching that. Like I talked about it in the first time we talked about this with the reason the Lord of the Rings works is because the people in peril are the hobbits. You don't make Parn the Hobbit. That's dumb. That's really dumb. And I don't want to watch Spark be the Hobbit, and like not and be completely incompetent and fail at everything, because it's just like they make him so pathetic and annoying. I don't like it, and he's just not better. He's not better than the party from the first series is better, with Deedlit and Parn and Gim, and the other characters that shouldn't even be there.
You literally, it's better with all those other characters.
Yeah, but I'm saying that there are some good characters there, and then Orson and Shearis, which kind of get annoying after a while. I totally fucked this up. I had it a second ago, and then I just lost it.
My 2 cents. It's audio's flailing on me. I recommend it. Those who are fantasy enthusiasts will enjoy it quite a lot. Far superior than the OVA.
Oh, the opening animation was fucking amazing for the TV series. Like,
yes.
Like I wish I was watching that show, which is kind of what I'm a little bit afraid. I'm a little bit afraid to watch Cristania again because I feel like it was really good in my head. And it's not gonna age well.
Well,
I'm expecting it to be an article of its time.
To what you said about the opening animation, I thought like the first, was it 10 or so seconds that I saw every time before I skipped it looked really good.
This 10 seconds where it's like, and then
like wasn't there like that scarf like flowing in the wind or whatever?
Yeah, that looks so great, really right? Good. You're like, I want to watch that show. I don't want to watch the.
And then after that, I think I usually skipped it because after that it turned into something else. Like in the opening, I mean. So I'm like, okay, next.
For the opening, I think they include scenes that was from like the light novels instead of the show, because if you pay attention to the opening, you'll see Spark
there
bandaged
aren't
up and
animated
lost an
scenes in
eye. What?
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure there aren't animated scenes in the light novels, but I get what you mean.
Yeah.
I've actually, I'm
eye.
interested in reading the. I had like when I started compiling articles, I've had for like a week and a half, or I guess just a week because I didn't have it up for last podcast. But I've had the Amazon listing for the Grey Witch Chronicles or whatever.
Is that like the whole thing?
Yeah,
I think so.
All the older literature have been released over here.
I was thinking about getting it and reading it with my kids when they're a little older, but
and then Gim totally rapes the dragon.
Well, that's a story worth reading.
Well, kids, that's enough for tonight.
So we're watching Jewel Hunter Bim.
Jew Hunter.
Bem. It's Jewel Bem Hunter Lime, I think is the official title, but that sounds stupid. I call it Jewel Hunter Bem Lime.
And after that is Prison School.
Prison School.
Oh.
Podcast 69.
I'm very curious to hear what Brad thinks of it.
I'm not
I'm dying to watch
the prison concept.
You don't have to. Then
I'll watch it because it's in the collection. So, So what's after that? We go back to Cristania.
We don't know yet. I'm wondering if we might want to. I don't know.
Well, actually, I'm kind of leaning against Cristania because I found out that there's the OVA series and the movie. Yeah. I just have the movie. The OVA series is like $70 or $80 on eBay, and I don't have it.
I think Hunter had it.
Hey, Hunter. I don't know if he'll be able to get it for me, though, because he's in his college dorm now or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, it's funny that our orders are in the backdrop of the Gunbuster photos.
Thank you, Hunter, for being so awesome. Anyway, so yeah, I think we're gonna do. I think we're gonna hold off on Cristania for a bit because I just feel a little bit burnt out with Lodos War.
I did, however. This is a bad suggestion. I was gonna say I did, however, order Rune Soldier, so that's on the way. But it's from
which one did you get?
That will hold up. That show is hilarious.
But what is it? That the seller I got it from, I think they usually take like 4 weeks to arrive.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think we should.
And also, it's 26 episodes, so we probably want to tone down on that because we just did 27.
That's gonna be a 2 podcast thing. But like I said, I think we should take some time to get some
easy weeks.
Yeah, I want to give us some time for that, just because it's been a little rough. I've had just
so much Lodos.
I wanted to jump into Grand Crest War, but I don't think I'm getting that apprenticeship. They wanted people with like years of experience already, and I'm like, well,
why'd the guy at your place tell you to apply then?
To sound nice.
Good question.
Why don't you
gets a commission on people who come in?
Why don't you get him to like reference for you and get your foot in the door? Be like, hey, Joe.
He called the head of the department, or he talked to him in person and tried. Like, I don't know. I'm really disappointed. So I'm gonna go in on Monday or something and just ask like for a flat out answer. I got to get something because I got to move on to another. I have to move on to another
income.
Well, I have to move on to another like avenue of trying to get employment. And the thing here's what's going on. Being overqualified is the worst fucking barrier to entry ever. Because it's like
they'll be like, why are you working here?
Well, it's like I'm trying to do like more manual labor stuff. You know, I want to work with my hands because I work in front of a computer like 14 hours a day, every fucking day, including weekends. And it's like, oh, we don't want you to do this because like you're overqualified, or you know what I mean? Like you're not going to do well here because you're used to making more money doing, you know, like better work. It's like, dude, I got to the level of making good money on ADD medication that my doctor just pulled the rug out from under me, and I've been like suffering at this job for the last couple of years without it, trying to make it, you know. So it's like that overqualified thing is like the biggest like shot to the face trying to get through this. Hate it. Anyway, so I'm like totally burnt out in this podcast right now. Like my brain is completely off. I've had way too much caffeine today. But yeah, we'll do I've got it right here actually. There's two different versions of this. You only need to buy one of these. They're in the description. They are affiliate links. Thank you. But I would get this one probably. I've got both of them. I watched the Media Blasters one. It's pretty good, but
Oh yeah, the Media Blasters one has a game in it, a virtual.
I was gonna say I think maybe because it's Sentai. I've not been thrilled with Sentai's what do you call it? Authoring or whatever. Their fucking Blu-ray for Higurashi like was so bad that I just don't.
Deja vu.
I don't know. Maybe I'll open this one and watch this one this time, but
why don't you base their authoring off of their native resolutions?
Well, it was just bad. It was the thing that was bad about the authoring.
We already went over this. It's an upscale though.
No. It was the stuttering.
Yeah, because it's upscale and all that stuff.
Oh yeah,
Why would that matter?
Slightly
We've
back.
already been over that.
Lodos War. Did y'all also see like the static lines every now and then for the TV series?
I didn't.
What? Static lines? Are you talking about interlacing?
Yeah. Issues.
I don't
Like,
think I did because
the end.
VLC has that like option that's de-interlace or whatever.
Okay.
So
Also, the reason my attention was divided is because I used your VLC play on top method.
it's great, isn't it?
It's pretty efficient.
I got through the entire 14 episodes in one day.
Yeah.
Watch it on my TV.
Does it say 1080i on the? Actually,
480?
it doesn't matter. Yeah,
480i?
Because it wasn't HD on the.
That's what I'm saying. Like, their authoring would have to be pretty terrible if they screwed it up DVD to DVD.
I think it's the master that might have caused that, but I don't know. It might be what you're saying too.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that I'm not sold on them being great. I'll have to check them out. I'll watch a couple things.
I didn't vouch for them being great. I'm just saying you're only giving us one example. You're
Media
like,
Blasters one because it's labeled under the genre sexy comedy.
well, I'm just saying, Brad, when you say they have terrible authoring, that exclusively one release is terrible. Their whole company, terrible authoring.
It put a bad taste in my mouth for them. Like I didn't like that one, especially when I went out of the way to buy the stupid Blu-ray. In fact, I think I bought the DVD and Blu-ray for all of those sets for their thing. Support it. This show's funny. You guys should definitely check it out. Don't skip this watch club. Anyway, let's wrap it up here. I'm gonna purchase the StreamYard Basic plan right now.
As I drink water for the next 5 meals.
And I will. Yeah, I'm actually gonna do that too. I'm gonna probably fast this whole week. Lose so much weight. Because I ate all those Cheez-Its and I just need to get that out of my system. But thank you guys for watching. Definitely tell your friends about our amazing podcast that goes perfectly well and never has any problems ever, any weeks. And if you'd like to keep seeing Augie instead of a duck face, support the podcast on Patreon. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next week, which will be on September Ooh. Oh, no, August 31st. Damn. So next one will be August 31st. And then the podcast after that will probably have some interesting Vic stuff to talk about because the September 6th thing will be the day prior.
Oh.
So, anyway, we'll see you guys then. Take it easy.
See you. Study.